Live from the softball complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching exclusive conference doubleheader softball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet. This afternoon, a couple of undefeated teams will battle as the College of Staten Island will face Hunter College with first place in the CUNY regular season probably on the line here this afternoon. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babusky along with Dave Pizzuto. And, Dave, what can you say about this CSI softball team? They're firing on all cylinders, playing great in every area of the game, and just on an unbelievable winning streak as they come into this big conference doubleheader here this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. They're 17-3 overall. They haven't lost in a long while. 6-0 in the conference, like you mentioned. The Dolphins firing pretty much on all cylinders. They're getting great pitching. They're getting great hitting. And the bottom line is it's only mid-season, so they're still putting it together of sorts. And, you know, like you mentioned, Mike, in your opening, this is a mid-season game with postseason implications or with a postseason feel. Both of these teams 6-0 coming in, and conventional thinking would tell you that the winner of this doubleheader, should they not split, is probably going to be crowned the regular season champions when it's all said and done.
Yeah, you know, there's no doubt about it, Dave. And, you know, we just mentioned the Dolphins coming into this game, you know, absolutely on fire. This is a team, Dave, that in the last 12 games have allowed a total of 2 unearned runs during that period of time. Their pitching is record-breaking in so many ways, and they actually have 3 pitches on the lineup here. In Allison Marr and Nicolette Trapani and Jackie Cortella. Every one of them, should the regular season end today, would finish first, second, and third all time on the CSI ERA single-season record list.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot, you know, especially given how the Dolphins started this season in Florida, playing some really tough opponents. They played Rochester a couple of times. They played Franklin, St. Joe's, Maine, Simmons University, Thiel College, which has been in the national championship tournament. In the recent past. And, you know, since they've come back home, Mike, you know, one thing that we say is that the Dolphins are always one of those teams that are, you know, predicted to be strong, predicted to always finish either at the top or near the top of the CUNY standings, but you still have to take care of business. You know, you still have to go out there and win games, and the Dolphins are doing exactly that since they've come back from Florida. You know, beating Lehman, going away, a combined score of 29-0 in that doubleheader. 2 very close games followed against Stockton by a combined 5-1 score, and then against Brooklyn, combined 19-0 in a doubleheader. Against York, 29-0 in a doubleheader. Purchased a game that we had for you here. You were at a combined 12-1 score. And then yesterday, right back here at the CSI softball complex, Mike, the Dolphins took both ends. A 1-0 nail-biter in the first, and then a blown right open second game, 13-0. So the Dolphins are not only winning, Mike, but they're winning in a variety of ways.
Yeah, and, you know, the pitching has just been so phenomenal, and the game 1 starter is going to be Jackie Cortella. And, you know, Cortella has pitched well for the Dolphins before, but this year really getting into unprecedented territory, Dave, as she's first in the nation in ERA.
Yeah, and you wonder how long she could keep it up. But, Mike, right now, if you see her going out there, you know, in the circle, it just seems like she's getting stronger and stronger. And basically with every inning that passes that she's not allowing an earned run, and I forget how long that streak is, but it is awful lofty, she's getting more and more confidence, and the players behind her are getting more and more confidence. You know, Jackie has never been a blow-it-by-you, 15 strikeout type of pitcher. She's the type of pitcher, she's going to get her 5 or 6 strikeouts, but she's all about location, and she's all about letting her defense behind her do their work. And that's where the Dolphins have really been excelling as of late, Mike. The CSI defense has been there. When they do make a mistake or when there is an error, they back each other up. They don't lose focus. They don't lose their mental ground. And they've been able to sustain a couple of jams as well. So it's all coming together. Jackie is obviously the epicenter and the force that makes it happen. And then the defense behind her has just been sensational.
You know, and Nicolette Trapani has pitched very well for the Dolphins, Dave. Her ERA 1.11 coming into the game today and a 6-2 record. But, you know, you mentioned the doubleheader yesterday, and Allison Marr for the second consecutive game threw a shutout. She had a one-hitter yesterday. That one hit was on a bunt. And in 25 innings, at 25 in the third inning, she's already struck out 29 batters, and she's only allowed 23 batters, or 24 batters, I should say, to reach base. So, just another weapon for a team that was already loaded in the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think conventional wisdom will tell you that Nicolette will probably get the start here in Game 2 since Allison pitched yesterday. But you know what? Any of her starters get in trouble. Head coach Stella Porto knows that she can insert Allison Marr in. She knows that she can give her team a blow. Give one of her routine starters a blow by putting Allison Marr in. And the thing is, Mike, Allison didn't exactly start the season, on fire the way she is. So you could tell she's been out of softball for a few years. She's getting back into the game after a long layoff. She, too, getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And, the one thing that we didn't mention yet so far, Mike, is that the weather's starting to break. It's starting to get, we've had weather that's been good enough for softball. We haven't had weather that's been enjoyable for softball until yesterday, until today. So the weather's starting to break. Pitchers pitch better in this weather. Hitters hit better in this weather. Fielders field better in this weather. And I'm sure you're going to see a lot of the cream rising to the top here over these last couple of weeks leading into the CUNY Championship.
Yeah, and Dave, of course, the first focus for this Dolphin team is always the CUNYAC Championship. But, this is a team now that's starting to try to work their way into the conversation, into regional rankings and, getting ready and hopefully to get a better NCAA seeding in the opening round of the tournament. And, that really makes today's two games really important for the Dolphins.
Yeah, like I said, Mike, one would have to believe that whoever wins this doubleheader, if there's a single team that takes both games, obviously, that team is probably going to win the CUNY regular season championship. That team is going to be able to wear their home colors during the tournament. They're going to get the home dugout. It's a psychological advantage, too. Remember that the tournament in early May is played here at the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins want to be in their home dugout. They want to wear their home colors. They want to be that number one seed, waiting for everybody else to kind of beat each other up and play in their games with that psychological advantage that they've gone through the entire conference successfully. Now, obviously, Hunter's been that thorn in their side over the last few years. The Dolphins have won 4 straight championships, but Hunter's always been that team at the end that's given them problems. They beat CSI during the regular season last year in 1 out of 2 games. So this is a team that knows it can beat the Dolphins. This is the team that the Dolphins know can beat them. So there's a lot of psychological warfare going on between these two sides. It's born out of respect. Both teams have a lot of respect for the others. The coaches do as well. It's a great rivalry. But unfortunately for Hunter, it's been a rivalry that the Dolphins have rather dominated, especially in postseason play.
Yeah, and, this is, of course, a rematch of last year's CUNYAC championship game. The Dolphins defeated the Hawks in the final 2 games by scores of 2-0 and 8-0 to go on and win their 4th consecutive CUNYAC championship. And for the Dolphins here this afternoon, they're going to face a Hunter College team, Dave, as you mentioned, undefeated in conference play. They've only played 14 games this year, Dave, coming in with a record of just 7-7 on the year, but a nice mix of some freshman players coming into the lineup, a new freshman at shortstop, a new freshman in left field who's batting over 400, and a new freshman player out on the mound for the Hawks, along with a lot of veteran talent, and it should make for a very exciting contest here this afternoon.
Yeah, they have 5 players in their starting lineup today, Mike, in their batting order that are batting 300 or better, and they have a couple of really dynamic, young recruits. Obviously, right at the top is Caroline Babula, who is their starting pitcher today, who's had a very good start to her season and is also batting, close to 400. You had mentioned Samantha Malloy, right in the heart of the order, batting 448. She leads the team. So this is a team that has some pretty good pop in the lineup. Now, again, you could look at their record. You could say 7-7. 6 of those 7 wins have come against weaker conference opponents, Mike. But this is a team that's still very much finding themselves, a team that hasn't played as many games as the Dolphins because of weather, obviously. But again, a team that seems to be getting stronger and stronger with each day that passes, and will certainly be a tough out for the Dolphins here today.
And the Hawks coming off of a doubleheader loss against Scranton by final scores of 7-0 and 12-4. But, Dave, this is also a team that went to Montclair State on March 30th and split a doubleheader with Montclair State. So that was a very good win for the Hawks.
Yeah, and anytime you could score a victory against one of the region's perennial powers, that's always going to give you a lift. No matter, how down Montclair State might be this season, they're always looked at as a perennial power in this region. And, Hunter went there on unfamiliar ground, on opposing territory, won that game by a score of 6-5. And, they got shut out in the second game of that doubleheader, but they came away from that knowing that they can play against some of the better teams in the region. Montclair's having a little bit of a down year this year, but that doesn't make any difference. Hunter came right back after that doubleheader with Montclair, Mike. They had a little bit of a long layoff with all the weather-related cancellations, and they came right back and beat Baruch up pretty good in a conference doubleheader, 9-1 and 5-2. So they've been bouncing back from some of their tough losses with big wins. They had a couple of tough losses a couple days ago against another regional power, Scranton. Now they're going to look to rebound against a Staten Island team.
Yeah, and it's a big doubleheader here this afternoon as the teams line out onto the foul lines, and we're just moments away from having the national anthem played here this afternoon as Jackie Cortella will be on the mound for the Dolphins. So we'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back to get you the starting lineups and the start of this afternoon's game. We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of this afternoon's game between the College of Staten Island and Hunter College. Both teams coming into this afternoon's game with identical conference records of 6-0. Jackie Cortella will make the start this afternoon for the College of Staten Island as she will get ready to face a Hunter College lineup full of both some new and some old players as well. And here to bring you that starting lineup for the Hunter College Hawks, my longtime broadcast partner, David Pizzuto. Dave?
All right, thank you, Mike. For Hunter College, they will go in the batting order. Pitcher, Caroline Babula. She wears number 2. She is batting .395 this season. Taylor Crofts, the center fielder, will bat second, wearing number 5. She's batting .311. Batting third, their leading hitter, Samantha Malloy, the left fielder, batting .448 this season. Victoria Slavic is in the 4 spot. She bats .379. She's playing right field. Batting fifth is number 10, Stephanie Abolt. She's playing first base. She bats .265. Batting sixth is number 20, Alana Vetza. She is catching, batting .240. Batting seventh is number 21, Brittany Salvador. She's playing second base, batting .333 this season. Batting eighth is number 3, Brianna Monaco, the third baseman, batting .154. And batting ninth is Jamie Durso, the shortstop, wearing number 13 and batting .296. As Mike mentioned, they are facing Jacqueline Cotella in the circle for the Dolphins. Cotella's 8-0 this season with a 0.13 ERA. That leads the nation. 53 innings pitched, 29 hits allowed. She's given up 5 runs. Only one of them have been earned. 10 walks, 42 strikeouts. Mike, opponents are batting just .158 against her this season.
Yeah, she's had a year that has just exceeded really, I think, everybody's expectations, Dave. You know, Jackie's improved every year as a starting pitcher. Her ERA is improved significantly every year. The number of base runners she's allowed has decreased significantly every year, but I don't think anybody thought she would come in, Dave, with a record of 8-0 on the season. And again, coming into the game here this afternoon, Dave, 1 earned run allowed in 53 innings.
Yeah, and the earned run that she gave up was in the 7th inning of the first game that she played. So when you think about it, she's had 7 straight games where she has not allowed an earned run, and we can obviously do the math. She's pitched in 53 innings. The last 46 of them have been scoreless, or she has not given up an earned run in any one of those innings. So she's just been on an absolute tear. And, Mike, we always mention how, the longer a player's career goes, the advantage always goes to the batter. When you're facing a pitcher for a second, a third time in the order, a 4th or 5th time, a 6th time during the season, and then an 18th, 19th, or 20th time in a career, the advantage always goes to the batter. They've seen what the pitchers had to offer a number of times. But in the case of Jackie Cotella, she's winning those battles. She's seeing players a second and third time around in the batting order. That's when she's getting better. She's seeing them a second and third time in a season. It's when she's getting better. She's seeing them for the 5th or 6th time over the course of her career. She's the one winning those battles. So it's an interesting dynamic, and you'll see that against some of Hunter's, upperclassmen players, who's winning those personal battles. We'll see who wins them today.
And Dave, the CSI Dolphin team has been playing really just phenomenally defensively here in 2017. What's the defensive lineup for the Dolphins here this afternoon?
All right, around the bases, they'll start behind the plate with Jamie Holmes, Trapani at first, Galbo at second, Riches at short, Marr at third. She's not in the starting batting order. And then left to right, Vanessa Joya, Christy Colangelo, and Juliana Cretella.
So it'll be Carolyn Bublia to lead off here this afternoon. She comes in batting .395 as a freshman, and she takes the first pitch over for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, and after the top 2 players lead the team in runs scored, she's next on the list with 11 runs scored as well. She's added 4 RBIs.
As that next pitch is grounded just foul down the left field line, 0-2.
And Babula has the advantage, well, not the advantage, but, has the pressure put on her of being the starting pitcher to have to go against Jackie Cotella in this one. So it shows you just how highly this Hunter coaching staff thinks of her. And
Babula goes down on strikes for the first out, so Cortella strikes off the leadoff batter in 3 pitches, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Taylor Crofts.
Always a very good hitter is Taylor. She's batting .311 this season, 4 RBIs, 13 runs scored. That leads the team.
Yeah, 4-year playing senior for the Hawks, as that pitch is just off the outside corner for a ball, 1-0. And, it's had some very good moments against the Dolphins, Dave.
Yeah, she's a former CUNY Most Valuable Player. She's a very, very good sound fielder as well.
As that next pitch is fouled up over the screen and out of play, and that's going to even the count up at 1-1.
Yeah, and if, Hunter's going to challenge for the CUNY title this year, they got to, put a lot on the shoulders of Taylor, not only from a leadership perspective, but exceptional hitter, great fielder. So there's going to be a lot asked of her down the stretch.
So Cortella now even in the count, 1-1, and the 1-1 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. She's ahead now, 1-2.
Yeah, Cortella's gone back to that Outside corner a couple times here over the first two at-bats.
1-2 the count, and the 1-2 pitch is swung on and nubbed slowly in front of the plate. It's going to be played in fair territory by Holmes, and she gets it over to first base in time for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down for the Hawks here in the first, and our first opportunity to see Samantha Malloy.
Good snap decision by Holmes to pick that one up and fire it into first. She only had a split second to think about whether she wanted to continue to let it run foul, and she did not. It looked like it was going to stay fair anyway, Mike. Good play by Holmes.
As Malloy's check swing foul on the first pitch falls behind in the count now, 0-1.
Malloy with 7 RBIs, 9 runs scored this season. Really good hitter, batting .448 this season for Hunter. This is her 14th start. She's only missed 1 game, 13 of 29, so limited plate appearances.
As that next pitch is swung on and blooped into right center field, Coangelo is there, and she makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So 3 up, 3 down for the Hawks in their half of the first. Nothing across. 1/2 inning of play in the books with the score. Hawks nothing. Dolphins coming to bat. We'll step aside and take a break. You're watching CUNYAC softball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back as the Dolphins retire the Hawks in order in the top half of the first inning. So the Dolphins will get an opportunity to come up and bat here against the freshman pitcher for the Hunter College Hawks and Carolyn Babula. And let's get you the starting lineup that she'll face here this afternoon, Dave.
All right, so for the Dolphins, very familiar starting lineup. They'll go at the top of the order with their pitcher, Jackie Cotella. She's batting .422 this season. Antoinette Galbo bats second, batting .328. She's playing second base. Patricia Riches, among the nation's leaders, .550 batting average. She plays shortstop, bats in the 3 spot in the cleanup position. Number 26, Vanessa Joya, she's playing left field, batting .373. Christy Colangelo having a monster senior season, batting .391. She plays center field and bats 5th. Batting 6th is Jamie Holmes, the catcher. She bats .282. Batting 7th is Ashley Nataro, who was out of the lineup yesterday. She's back in as the DP flex player. The 8th position, Nicolette Trapani, the first baseman, and then Juliana Cretella is in right field, batting 9th. Kristen Marr is playing the field at third base, obviously not in the batting order. And they'll face, as Mike said, Caroline Babula. Babula 2-1 with a 3.16 ERA.
So Cotula coming in batting .422, 2 homers, 18 RBIs, and she swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1.
Yeah, and Cotella leads the team with 27 runs scored. She's also tied for the team lead with 4 stolen bases.
As Babula winds in the pitch, couple of hops to third base. Monaco plays it over to first base in time for the out. So 1 up, 1 down quickly for the Dolphins here in their half of the first inning, and it'll bring up second baseman Antoinette Galbo.
And just to finish the line on Babula, Mike, 2-1 with a 3.16 ERA, 31 innings pitched. She's given up 34 hits in the 31 innings, 24 runs, 14 of them earned, 10 walks, 19 strikeouts.
And the first pitch to Galbo is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Antoinette really having a great year at the plate so far this year, batting .328, 7 doubles, a triple, and 14 RBIs. And that pitch is swung on and lashed in the hole. The log throw from short will not be in time as Galbo will be at first base. Dorso played that one in the hole, Dave, but really had no chance to get Galbo at first. It was fortunate that Galbo couldn't advance on the errant throw.
Yeah, Durso just did well to kind of stop the ball from going into the outfield. There's no chance to get Galbo at it first. There'll be no error is listed on the play. Just a hit for Galbo, who stays put at first base.
Now that'll bring up Patricia Riches. And the first pitch to Riches is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. And Riches having quite a freshman season, Dave.
Yeah, she leads the team obviously with a .550 batting average, leads the team with 21 RBIs, leads them with 7 doubles, leads them with 3 home runs and 4 stolen bases. So, yeah, I'd say she's off to a pretty good start. As
Riches swings and drives that one deep to left field. Going back on the play is Malloy. She can't make the catch. And Galbo, who was holding to tag up at first, can only advance to second bases. That time Riches hit the ball deep toward the left field wall. It's going to be scored a base hit on the play, Dave, but, that's certainly a play that I think could be made out in left field.
Yeah, if Samantha Malloy is on her horse maybe just a half a second earlier and kind of meets that ball instead of just raising her glove and trying to stab at it, she might have a play. But that's a well-scored base hit, a very long base hit that maybe, on a different day carries out of here, Mike. There is really no wind here today, but Patricia Rich is off to a pretty good start, and the Dolphins are in business, 2 on, 1 out, and the very dangerous Vanessa Joya now at the plate.
Yeah, Joya having another great year for the Dolphins in her second season with the team, batting .373. She's 19 of 51 with a homer and 12 RBIs.
She's very patient too, Mike. She leads the team in walks with 12, so she's not going to give in to anything close. She will make you work if you're an opposing pitcher, and part of the reason why she's got 12 RBIs this season and batting .373.
1-0 to Joya, and the 1-0 is going to be taken for a strike, and that'll even the count up at 1-1. Defensively for the Hawks here this afternoon, Stephanie Bolt at first, Brittany Salvador at second, Jamie Dorso at short, Brianna Monaco at third. As Babula winds, the pitch is swung on and grounded slowly towards shortstop, and it's going to go under the glove of the shortstop, sliding and getting up and coming around to score on the play will be Galbo, and getting thrown out at third base will be Riches on a very close play, as the Dolphins are going to take a 1-0 lead. I believe that'll be scored an error, Dave, but we'll wait for the official scoring.
There's no doubt about it. That's an error on the shortstop, Jamie Durso. That gets Galbo home. Rich is out at third on a very close play, Mike. The CSI bench thought she was safe. I thought she was out as well. And it looked like Hunter really made a good decision at trying to go to third, and a good cutoff by Carolyn Babula to recognize what was happening and get the runner out at third.
Yeah, so I believe the scoring on that play, Dave, will be 7-1-5 on the putout of Ritchie's for the second out, and now Joya is at second base with 2 out. And the pitch to Colangelo is taken for a strike, and that'll even the count up at 1-1. And Christie finishing off her career here at CSI, Dave, really with a monster year, as you mentioned, so far this year.
Yeah, and I'll say it after this one.
As that's an off-speed breaking pitch. Nice pitch, 1-2.
Yeah, and for Colangelo, in years past, she was coming off of soccer seasons, Mike, and this time in the fall she didn't play soccer, and it's leading to a fantastic year here for softball.
As the 1-2 pitch is swung on and blooped towards shortstop, and there to make the catch will be Dorso for the final out of the inning. So it looked like the Dolphins might do a little bit more damage. Instead, they score a run, 2 hits, 1 Hawk error, and 1 player left. 1 inning in the books with the score. Dolphins 1, Hawks nothing. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready for the top half of the second inning. And, Dave, the Dolphins scored a run in an inning where they really didn't hit the ball that hard. And Hunter College, with a little bit better defense, might have been able to get out of that inning without allowing a run.
Yeah, Mike, we say it all the time. Defense wins games. At this level, walks and errors will absolutely kill you. That time Patricia Riches gets credit for a hit on a play that maybe can be made in the outfield. She's the only one who hits the ball out of the infield. But the Dolphins are able to manufacture a run, helped along by a Hunter error. And just like that, we have an unearned run that's in the books. CSI has the lead, and now Hunter has to come from behind with their 4, 5, 6 hitters in the lineup.
So it's going to be Victoria Slavic, Stephanie Bolt, and Alana Veza, 4, 5, and 6 against Jackie Cortella, and the first pitch is taken outside for a ball, 1-0.
And after Slavic, who's batting .379, the batting averages go down significantly for Hunter. But they're going to get a good start here with Slavic, who's batting .379, 11 RBIs, 5 runs scored. But, Mike, she is a very good power hitter. She leads Hunter with 3 doubles and 2 home runs this season.
The wind and the pitch is swung on and drilled deep to left field. Joya going back on the ball, and she's not able to make the play. And rounding first base and heading into second is Slavic with a leadoff double, and she hit that ball hard, Dave.
Yeah, and she kind of, fisted it towards left field, and Joya got a really, really bad start on that ball. She was kind of stuck in concrete there for about a second until she broke for it. I think that had a lot of English as it was heading towards the foul line, but that's another one of those plays, Mike, where if the outfielder gets off to a quick start, they're possibly able to make the play. But instead, a well-scored double there by Slavic. She now leads the team with 4 this season as Stephanie Abolt approaches.
So Abolt to batter now with a runner in scoring position, no out, and the first pitch to Abolt is taken down low for a ball, 1-0.
It's actually 2-0, Mike.
2-0.
Cortella's now fallen behind, and for Abolt, she's batting .265 this season, but she leads the team with 12 RBI.
The wind and the pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. So early pressure situation in the game here for the Dolphins as Cortella allows the leadoff double, Slavic on second base, and Abolt ahead in the count, 2-1. The wind and the pitch is swung on, grounded towards the mound, played there, and going over to third base on the play will be Slavic. Is that time Cortella checked Slavic back to the bag and threw over to first base, but Trapani never got the ball out of her glove, Dave, to throw it over to third.
Yeah, I think Trapani felt that if she was going to release it, she wasn't sure she was going to get the out. Better not to make the mistake and throw it away, keep the runner at third with 1 out.
So now a runner at third base and 1 out, and the batter, Elena Veza, for the Hawks.
And Veza, too, has 3 doubles coming into this game. That's tied for the team lead. Not anymore as Slavic took over that category. But 1 RBI, 8 runs scored, a batting average of .240.
As Cortella winds and the pitch is taken just down low for a ball, that'll even the count up at 1-1.
For Veza, this is her 12th start of the season, but limited at bat. She's only 6 of 25 for the season.
The 1-1 pitch by Cortella is swung on, popped up in the air in the infield. Trapani makes the call and the catch in fair territory for the second out. So Hunter fails to score the run with less than 2 out from third base, and it'll take a 2-out hit now from the second baseman, Brittany Salvador.
Yeah, and Salvador, too, this is only her 9th start of the season. She's batting .333, but limited at bat, 7 of 21. She does have 8 RBIs on 7 hits.
Cortella winds and the first pitch on the outside corner at the knees for a strike, 0-1.
And when Cortella's getting that low strike, Mike, that she loves so much, it's so hard to do anything with that pitch. If you're going to hit it, you have to really get out in front of it to drive it. Otherwise, it's going to get hit on the ground somewhere, and your defense is going to be able to make the play.
As that next pitch is down low for a ball, and that'll even the count up at 1-1. Cortella looking in for the sign, and the 1-1 is outside for a ball, and that'll run the count to 2-1.
On deck is Brianna Monaco, who's batting just .154 this season, so Cortella understands that.
So let's see how she handles Salvador now, down in the count 2-1, and that pitch is outside and low for a ball, and that's going to run the count now to 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, runner on third base, 1-0 here, Dolphins, just underway in this doubleheader in the top half of the second inning. The pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen. Count now goes full at 3-2.
Cortella's been going down, 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 down. Then she goes up with that pitch and gets Salvador to chase after it and spoil it away. And we'll see what Cortella does on this one. First and second base open with 2 out.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch is swung on and nubbed towards the first base line, but foul. So we'll do it over again. The count will hold at 3-2.
Time again, Salvador doing well to stay into the at-bat. Just got a piece of it.
So we'll redo the 3-2 pitch here. Big moment early in the game for the Hawks. They're trying to do something that's only been done 1 time this year, and that's score an earned run against Cortella, as that one's going to be fouled back to the screen. A nice job by Salvador making Cortella work, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a good at-bat for her. She spoiled a couple pitches that Cortella wanted her to chase upstairs, and she'll do it again.
Cortella looking in for the sign now. And the 3-2 pitch once again, off-speed breaking pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Beautiful pitch by Jackie Cortella to work her way out of a leadoff double. No runs, 1 hit, runner left on third for the Hawks here in their half of the second inning. 1.5 in the books, 1-0 Dolphins. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back getting ready for the bottom half of the second inning. 1-0. The Dolphins lead in this one. And, you know, for the Hawks, Dave, in their half of the second inning, the senior veteran Victoria Slavic, a player that's gone against Jackie Cortella here for the last 4 years, led off with a long double down the left field line. But although the Hawks were able to get the run to the third base with less than 2 out, they could not bring the run across the plate.
Yeah, but it goes back to what we spoke to in the opening about confidence that Jackie Cortella has. She still went with her usual stuff, and she got a couple of quick outs, a ground out where she got the sure out at first base, waited, was patient, got a pop out, and then, Mike, on that last at-bat, Salvador was having such a tremendous at-bat. Cortella trusting her stuff, opting to throw the breaking pitch. You know, Salvador gets out in front of it. She could drive that into plenty of green territory. Instead, fools her with the pitch and is able to get out of the inning. Nice job by Cortella to trust her stuff and trust her defense behind her. Dolphins able to escape the jam.
So it'll be Jamie Holmes, Ashley Notaro, and Nicolette Trapani, 6, 7, and 8 for the Dolphins. And now Holmes falls behind in the count, 0-2.
Holmes got off to a great start. He's still batting just under 300, 282 this season.
The wind and the pitch is up high for a ball, 1-2.
Holmes also with power. She's laced 2 home runs this season. She's got 7 RBIs, 9 runs scored, and she's chance to set the table here in the second for the Dolphins.
The wind and the 1-2 pitch is swung on, grounded hard towards shortstop. Played there by Dorso, but she launches the ball away and commits her second error in 2 innings, and Holmes will lead off at first base. And, you know, Dave, the Hawks playing the freshman at shortstop, and she's had a couple of struggles here in the first couple of innings.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, with Durso being a freshman in a big spot against the 4-time defending champs, this is a team that does the little things well. And the Dolphins, one of the things that they do, Mike, is that they run every ground ball out as hard as they can, and it pays and it forces the shortstop to rush a throw. Holmes is going full speed ahead. It was, you know, that was going to be a close play no matter what, and the fact that it went over the first baseman's head, Stephanie Abolt, gives the Dolphins a start here as we're going to have a pinch runner come in. I think that'll be Alexis Cateridge who will come in.
So in this big game, Dave, head coach Stella Porto wasting no time putting in the speedy Cateridge to come in and run for Jamie Holmes here in the top half of the second inning. So, you know, this is going to be the kind of game, Dave, where both coaches are going to pull out all the stops.
Yeah, and for Cateridge, she has not attempted a steal this season, but this is her 11th appearance. Most of it has been as a pinch runner.
As the wind and the pitch is taken down low for a ball, 1-0. Notaro coming in batting .327. She's 16 of 49, 2 doubles and 10 RBIs. The wind and the pitch is bunted out and missed for a strike. That'll even the count up at 1-1.
Yeah, so Notaro took the bunt off for the first pitch that Babula threw, and that time swung through it via the bunt.
The wind and the pitch is up high for a ball, 2-1.
Notaro does not have a sac bunt this season, so it's something to think about as well.
So 2 balls, 1 strike here on Notaro. Dolphins have the leadoff runner on first base as the pitch is on the inside corner for a strike, 2-2.
I don't know about that pitch, Mike. That was well on the inside. We've seen pitchers get the outside and a little bit of the high strike zone. That one hit the low inside corner.
So now the 2-2 pitch is swung on and grounded towards the hole between short and third. It's going to go past the diving Dorso and go into the outfield. And, Dave, I suspect that's going to be scored a base hit. But once again, that's another play that the Hawks leave out on the field defensively. And, they better put a stop to it right now, Dave, or there's going to be a lot of problems for Hunter here this afternoon.
Yeah, listen, it's ruled a hit, and I agree with the call, Mike, only because of how it was fielded. But, again, a top-notch fielding team makes that play.
So now the Dolphins with 2 runners on base via 2 ground balls to shortstop, nobody out, and Nicolette Trapani, the batter. Trapani shows bunt and fouls it back for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, so Trapani is able to make contact but can't complete the play, complete the sacrifice. I should say Trapani has not put down a sacrifice bunt yet this season. She's batting .286. She does have 5 RBI and 8 runs scored.
The wind and the pitch, that swung on and grounded hard down the left field line, foul and out of play, and she's down in the count now, 0-2.
And it seems like the Dolphins, aren't being fooled by the timing of Babula, and they're hitting everything pretty much to the left side of the infield, and why not continue to swing that way, the way Hunter's fielding the ball on that side of the infield.
0-2 the count now, and the 0-2 pitch is down low for a ball, 1-2.
Yeah, that time well outside. Babula understanding the fact that many of the Dolphins hitters are getting out in front of these balls, trying to put one to the outside of the plate.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice pitch that time by Babula, and a big out, getting Trapani to go down swinging for the first out, and that's going to bring up the right fielder now, Juliana Cretella.
Yeah, that's the last thing the Dolphins wanted was a K. They want to put the runners in motion on that play no matter what. So now it's Cretella with 1 out and runners at first and second.
And Cretella, who started out a little slow offensively, has been working her average up. It's now up to .316. She has a homer and 6 RBIs on the year.
Yeah, you see her choking up on the bat a little bit, Mike, looking for contact.
As that ball's going to be bunted towards first, and the throw over to first base is not going to be in time. As that time, Cretella was able to put down the bunt, and again, Dave, I'm going to guess that that's going to be called a base hit.
It has to be called a base hit. It looked like with Babula fielding it, she fielded it on one knee, but her first baseman, Stephanie Abel, might have bumped into her, and it got her to make the throw very rushed. And even though the ball was dropped at first base anyway, Cretella was definitely in there already safe. So the bases are going to be loaded for the top of the order. And gee whiz, Mike, if you're a freshman pitcher, the last thing that you want is the bases loaded having to pitch to Jackie Cretella, who's batting .422 with 18 RBIs. I mean, this is a kid who every time there's runners on base seems to deliver. Huge spot here for the freshman pitcher.
So let's see what Cretella could do now as the first pitch is going to be up high for a ball, 1-0.
Cretella, very patient batter, too. So for a leadoff hitter, she understands what's a ball, what's a strike. She has a small strike zone to begin with.
The wind and the 1-0 pitch is swung on. That's going to be blooped into left field, and nobody's going to get that. That's going to be in for a base hit. 1 run will score. Getting the ball home quickly is Malloy. It's going to be an RBI single for Jacqueline Cretella. The Dolphins take a 2-0 lead and still have the bases loaded with 1 out.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the first hit the Dolphins have had out of the infield in this inning. And again, they're able to manufacture a run through it. So 5th hit of the game for the Dolphins' second run. They're up 2-0.
19 RBIs on the year for Jackie Cretella. She's second on the team, and that'll bring up Antoinette Galbo. Galbo got credit for a single in the first inning, and she came around to score the only Dolphin run. She's 1 for 1.
Yeah, single towards shortstop her first time up.
The wind and that pitch is going to be swung on and drilled to center field, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Coming in to score on the play for the Dolphins will be Natero. It's going to be a single and an RBI for Antoinette Galbo, and the Dolphins now lead by a score of 3-0.
And the Dolphins are still just 1 hit away from really breaking this thing open. A couple of bloop singles that are finding their way in, and here you go again. Bases loaded, and now you have to face Patricia Riches, one of the nation's best hitters right now. .550, that's already above that, because she got a base hit her first time up.
The wind and the first pitch to Patricia is swung on and fouled back, and the count goes to 0-1. And You know, Dave, I believe she was third in the nation in hitting and coming into the game here this afternoon. And like you mentioned, 1-for-1 here already, and a big opportunity to blow the game open early. Dolphins leading by a score 3-0, and with Jackie Cortello on the mound, Dave, that's just a huge lead.
Yeah, that time the catcher, Alana Veza, doing well to keep that ball in front of her as that one skipped in. As you can see now, Babula maybe feeling the effects here of having to pitch to some of CSI's best hitters.
1-1 the count. Babula winds the 1-1 pitch, and that's down low for a ball. 2-1. No place to put Riches as the Dolphins have the bases loaded with one out here in the bottom half of the second inning. They already lead by a score of 3-0. And
yeah, Babula doesn't want to give Riches anything proper to hit, but her last two pitches have been in the dirt, a foot in front.
Hunter playing in the infield and that's going to be laced into right center field, and that's going to roll all the way to the wall, and that will clear the bases. It's going to be a stand-up triple for Patricia Riches. 3 RBIs, and the Dolphins have broken this one open as they now take themselves a 6-0 lead, still threatening with a runner at third base and still one out.
Yeah, well, that's what happens, Mike, when you run the bases loaded with the top of the order against this CSI Dolphins team. I mean, Caroline Babula had to come in with a strike. There's nowhere to put Riches. Riches knew it and just drove that one into open space. She's 2 for 2 now on the day. And Joya, who earned on via error her last time up, has a chance to drive in Riches.
Yeah, and the Dolphins, once again, Dave, you can't afford to give them an extra out, and Hunter's probably given them 4 extra outs here through less than 2 innings, and it just makes it extremely difficult as that pitch is on the inside corner for a strike, 1-1.
Yep, and, a team like the Dolphins, very, senior-oriented upperclassmen, a lot of knowledge. They're going to use those little mistakes that you make to their advantage.
As that pitch is taken for a strike now, 1-2. As the Dolphins have taken a little bit of advantage of some tough infield play by the Hawks here this afternoon. A couple of balls to shortstop that couldn't be played, and then a bunt single as Joya laces that one into left field, but it'll be foul, and the count will hold at 1-2.
Yeah, very defensive swing that time from Vanessa Joya. Caught up to it a little bit late, kind of fisted it out towards the third base line, so the count remains 1-2. Babula's still ahead. See what kind of pitch she comes back with here.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count, and the pitch is going to be down low for a ball, 2-2.
It's the third one she's put in the dirt so far in this inning as well, so control perhaps losing a little bit of it is Babula, who's already surrendered 7 hits here through 1 1/3.
The wind and that pitch is ripped foul down the left field line and out of play, and the count will hold at 2-2. And Babula came in allowing opponents just about 262 against here this year. In 31 innings, she allowed just 34 hits, but 7 hits already here for the Dolphins this afternoon, as that pitch will be up high for a ball, and that'll run the count full on Joya at 3-2.
Yeah, and Joya making faces at her dugout, saying she would have liked to have swung at that one. That was way high in the strike zone, but doing well to lay off and gets to a full count.
Christy Coangelo on deck. The 3-2 pitch to Joya is going to be swung on and fouled back out of play, and the count holds full at 3-2.
Again, a defensive swing just to stay involved in the, in the at-bat for Joya. Caught up to that one a little bit late.
The wind and the pitch is swung, and that's laced towards left field and off the glove of Dorso, and that's going to be in for probably another base hit, Dave. We'll see how the official scorer scores it, but regardless, it's going to bring home a run as Patricia Riches will score. Joya will be down on first base, and the Dolphins now have opened up the lead to a score of 7-0.
It's been ruled an error, Mike.
So an error on the shortstop, her 3rd error of the afternoon. And the first pitch is going to be down low for a ball, 1-0, and Joya's going to take off the second, and she's going to make it. So the Dolphins taking advantage of the Hawks here this afternoon now have a runner at second base, and that runner is the potential mercy run, Dave, here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, so, Joya, again, if you make a mistake, the Dolphins make you pay for it. Joya not content with just being at first. she'll take second on that play.
Grounded to Dorso as the ball keeps seeming to find her, and she's going to get it over to Coangelo in time for the second out. Holding at second base will be Joya, and now it'll be Jamie Holmes to bat. Holmes led off this inning, Dave, and reached on an error.
Yeah, so the Dolphins have officially batted around. Everything, obviously, from here on in will be unearned because there have been 2 errors in this inning for Hunter. Well, what happens is Jamie Holmes has to officially re-enter the game because, remember, she was taken out via a pinch runner in Alexis Caterage. So Stella Porto wanting to do the right thing, make sure she calls time to re-enter Holmes officially into the game. Otherwise, it's an illegal at-bat. And now she can step in.
So Holmes will be the batter, as she was pinch run, like Dave said earlier in this inning. As the wind and the first pitch to Holmes is swung on and grounded down the third base line, foul out of play, 0-1.
And I'll tell you what, with the exception of the first baseman, Stephanie Abel, the entire right side of the Hunter team really hasn't played, anything. The right fielder, the second baseman, Dolphins almost exclusively living on that left side of the field, and that's because they're getting out in front of Caroline Babula's pitches.
The wind and the pitch by Babula is swung on and right under the glove of the third baseman and into left field. That's going to be
a definite error, without a doubt, right through the wickets.
So that'll be an E5, and that will send Joya down to third base, leave Holmes on first base. And, Dave, I count that as the third error of the inning for the Hawks. But we're waiting for the official scoring. And so the Dolphins continue to threaten here, Dave, and it's now going to bring up the designated player, Ashley Natero.
Yeah, the Dolphins just having their way with them here continues to
with her 2 hits here this afternoon, Dave, Patricia Riches ups her batting average to .565 and now has 24 RBIs.
Yeah, I was wondering what you're doing with that calculator out, Mike, and now I know.
I did that in my head, Dave.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I'm sure. Well, you are the bursar, so you're good with numbers. I know that. But Nataro, Mike, one of the Dolphins' 8 hits in the game, as she has a base hit in this inning.
1-0 the count as Natero lashes that one foul down the left field line and out of play, and that's going to run the count even to 1-1.
Wait, which one? The one before that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was absolutely 5.
Okay.
So 1-1 the count with 2 outs here. The Dolphins have broken this one open with 6 in the bottom half of the second inning, leading by a score of 7-0, looking for more. As that pitch to Natero's off speed will be down low for a ball, 2-1.
And sorry, Mike, I'm going to go back. I was off the air for just a moment because we've been told that Vanessa Joya's E6 has been changed to a hit. So that's going to be ruled a hit instead.
As that ball is swung on and fouled back up over our heads and out of play, and the count evens at 2-2.
No error made on that foul ball, Mike, that went behind us. Fan getting a good catch on it, so ball continues to stay in play as the count now is 2-2 to Nataro, who has a base hit and a run scored.
The wind and the pitch to Natero is swung on and lashed into center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. The Dolphins will pick up their 8th run here of the afternoon as Natero gets a 2-out single into center field, and the Dolphins continue on the roll, continue to break this one open, and now lead by a score of 8-0.
And Trapani will now have Holmes at second and Nataro at first. She struck out in this inning. She's 0 for 1.
Trapani struck out on a 1-2 pitch as she lashes that one to left field. Going back on the ball is Malloy, and she makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So Trapani hits that ball hard, but Malloy is there to make the catch. But the Dolphins score 7 runs. We played 2 innings complete. The Dolphins lead by a score of 8-0. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the third inning. The Dolphins get credited with 7 runs in their at-bat in that second inning as they score those 7 runs on 7 base hits. And, Dave, just too many Hawk mistakes open the door up for the Dolphins. And if you open the door up, this team's going to kick it in.
No, absolutely. And we've been saying that all the time, Mike, that number one, when you play good teams, when you play great teams, the Dolphins are one of the good ones, one of the region's great ones. You just can't make mistakes. You just can't put yourself behind more than what you should be. And then, Mike, on the converse side, on the opposite side, if you're a team like CSI playing a conference opponent that's been a thorn in your side, a team that's always challenged you hard, when they do make a mistake, you have to be able to take advantage of those mistakes. So, for Hunter, they're making mistakes, and then CSI taking advantage. It's leading to a perfect storm, and that's why the Dolphins are up by an 8 spot here, and we've only had 12 outs registered in the game.
And you look at that second inning, Hunter with that leadoff double had an opportunity to tie the game up. Cortella prevented them from doing that, and the Dolphins come out and break it open, leading the way the 3 RBI base-clearing triple by Patricia Riches, and the Dolphins have opened this up to a score of 8-0, and that's going to bring up Brianna Monaco, the third baseman, and she takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, Monaco obviously is the 8th in the order. So Cotella will face 8, 9, and 1 in this inning. So Hunter's still working their way around the batting order for the first time.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch just down low for a ball, 2-1.
Yeah, and that's where Cotella likes to put the balls, Mike, is on the low side of the strike zone. She missed them with a couple there. She's going to have to raise it up just a hair.
The 2-1 pitch is going to be taken for a strike, and that'll even the count up at 2-2.
For Monaco this season, she's only batting 154, 4 RBI, 4 runs scored.
The wind and the pitch is going to be down low for a ball, so a nice job by Monaco to work the count full to 3-2.
And if you could tell her, you don't want to lose Monaco. She's only batting 4 of 26 from the plate this season. She's only walked 3 times.
The wind and the 3-2 pitch is swung up, popped up in the air in the infield. Cortella comes over, a step inside fair territory, and makes the catch for the first out.
And the senior pitcher, once again, staying confident, staying within her strike zone. She put down that one right dead red down the heart of the plate, and Monaco had no choice but to swing at it, popped it up.
So 1 up, 1 down here, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Jamie Dorso. The wind and the first pitch to Jamie is swung on and fouled down the first baseline out of play, 0-1.
Dorso has had a lot of activity at shortstop. I mean, she has the one error, I believe, because one was taken back, but she's had a lot of balls hit her way, a lot of action defensively.
The wind and the pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 2.
Yeah, so Jackie comfortably ahead, and with her team ahead on the scoreboard, Mike, she knows that she could be very liberal with her pitches.
Yeah, she's going to come out and really be free to do whatever she wants, Dave. There's no single batter that can do any damage when you're up 8-0.
Absolutely. The only thing that's threatened, obviously, is that streak that she has.
As that pitch is just down low for a ball, 2-2.
Yep, and Jamie Holmes turning around and asking the umpire for a second time where the ball was. Wants an explanation, gets one, has to bring it a little up.
Cortella, taken, strike 3 call. So that time Jackie continues to pound down and away. She picks up her 3rd strikeout here of the afternoon. 2 out, no one on, and back to the top of the Hawk lineup.
Yeah, and Babula, I believe, struck out on 3 pitches her last time up, so she's 0 for 1.
And the first pitch is swung on and grounded towards third. Played there by Trapani. She steps on the bag for the final out of the inning. So the Hawks go down quickly in their half of the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. 2.5 in the books. Dolphins lead 8-0. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back getting ready for the bottom half of the third inning. The Dolphins lead in this game by a score of 8-0. And you know, Dave, we mentioned during the pregame show that the Hawks handed the Dolphins their only regular season loss last year as they beat the Dolphins by a score of 3-1 in the second game of a doubleheader out at Randall's Island, handing the Dolphins their only conference loss of the year. And the Dolphins came back and were able to sweep the Hawks in the CUNYAC Championship Tournament. So they come out a big game here this afternoon, and so far, at least, Dave, it's been all Dolphins.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're Hunter, you could not have started this doubleheader any worse. A couple of bad choices in the field. And, you know, Mike, Hunter right now, they have 3 errors. But really, if they made some of the plays that they should have made, this score, number one, would be a lot closer. You know, number two, it would have taken away a couple of the Dolphins' hits, too, because some of the ruled hits, which were good ruled hits, were on plays that could have been made by the Hunter defense.
As Quatella swings at the first pitch, grounds back to the mound. She'll get it over to a Bolt in time. 1 pitch, 1 out as Quatella grounds out to lead off the third.
Yeah, and that's a good start for Babula, who registered the first out of the game as well before things kind of went awry in the first. But here's Jackie Cortella, who in the third inning is already nursing her third at bat. She's 1 for 2 with a base hit.
The wind and the pitch is swung on and fouled down the left field line out of play, 0-1. And, you know, Dave, it was really the Quatella hit where the Dolphins started to take advantage of a couple of those Hawk College plays, and it was 4 consecutive hits by Quatella, Galbo, Ritchie, and Joya that broke this game open.
Yeah, and you know what? Quatella had the first real legitimate hit of the second inning. The other one came through the left side of the infield, which is a defensive play that probably should have been made on Notaro's at bat, and then Juliana Quatella legged out a bunt. So otherwise, Quatella had the really good hit in that inning.
As that's grounded 1 hop to Monaco, she gets it over to a Bolt in time for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down quickly for the Dolphins in their half of the third inning, and it'll bring up Antoinette Galbo, and Dave Galbo already 2 for 2 with an RBI.
Yeah, 2 for 2. She hit one towards shortstop in the first, and then had a really heads-up hit with a bloop to center field. The second time up, RBI. She's got 2 runs scored.
As Galbo grounds that slowly towards first, the Bolt will get on the base unassisted for the third out of the inning. So that time, Babula retires the Dolphins in order on 5 pitches through the third inning. 3 innings complete. Dolphins lead 8-0. We'll step aside, take a break, and be right back. We're back, and we're getting ready now for the top half of the fourth inning, and it'll be the heart of the Hawk order here in the fourth inning. Taylor Crofts, Samantha Malloy, and Victoria Slavic, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters against Jackie Cortella. Cortella coming out, Dave, undefeated on the year with an 8-0 lead in the top half of the fourth inning, and you got to like the way that she's come out and pitched here this afternoon.
Yeah, she's already seen everybody in the Hunter lineup at least once, so we'll see how Hunter could fare here with their second trip around the order. You know, Cortella has worked quickly. She's believed in her stuff. She hasn't gone awry. She hasn't lost anybody via the walk, so all good signs for the Dolphins. And if you're Hunter, you're coming off of your first real good defensive, half inning. Now's the time to really try and build something offensively.
So it'll be Taylor Crofts against Jackie Cortella here to start the top half of the fourth inning. As Cortella looks in for the sign, and her first pitch is swung on and hit hard towards first base, played on a hop by Trapani, and she'll step on the base for the first out. So that time Crofts hit the ball hard, but Trapani makes the play for the out.
Yeah, nice job by Crofts to attack the first pitch, but she laced it right into Trapani's glove, whose glove was right on the ground. Great defensive play by Nicolette.
So Samantha Malloy will be the batter as she takes the first pitch down for a ball, 1-0. Samantha flied to center field in the first inning. She's 0 for 1. The wind and the pitch for Cortella, a beautiful pitch on the outside quarter, 1-1. And You know, Dave, you watch the way Jackie pitches here this year, and everything's on the black. Everything's at the knees. Everything's at the letters. You know, everything is – she really spotting the ball exceptionally well so far this year.
Yeah, and in her freshman year, you know, it seems like, just yesterday, but 3 years ago, she was one of the nation's best pitchers at not yielding walks. I think she had 4 walks the entire year, Mike, or something like that. She only has 10 walks this season in 53 innings pitched.
The wind and the pitch is swung on and blooped in the air to second base. Galbo will make the catch for the second out. 2 up, 2 down quickly for the Hawks here in the fourth.
And we talk defensively about, making errors, Mike, extending innings. Well, how badly do walks affect teams at this level of play? We say it all the time, and when you're not giving away free passes to teams and limiting them to only what they can do with the bat in their hands, that's really a huge part of the game.
As the first pitch is on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Slavic with the only hit of the game against Cortella here this afternoon. She lashed a double down the left field line, made it to third base with 1 out, but that was as far as she could go in the second. She's 1 for 1 and takes that pitch down low for a ball. That'll even the count up at 1-1.
Yeah, Slavic with a good piece of hitting the last time she was up, as Mike mentioned, kind of blooped one down the line.
That 1-1 pitch is fouled off 1-2.
And Joya got a really bad hop on that ball that was hit by Slavic the last time. And, the outfield, you can tell, Mike, definitely shift over to the right. Cortella only maybe 10 or 12 steps away from the right field line. Obviously, Colangelo in center field set up to the right.
The wind and the pitch is down low for a ball. That'll even the count up at 2-2. Victoria, one of the better hitters in the Cuniac Conference, batting .379. 3 doubles, a triple, as that ball is going to be lashed into right field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. So Slavic has the answer to Cortella, Dave, as she's 2 for 2, and she'll be on first base now with 2 out.
Yeah, and that time, that one, Cortella took a little bit off, and Slavic was almost able to kind of slap that one into the outfield. Took a nice, hearty step into the plate and, kind of nursed that one over Galbo's head. So Hunter with a little bit of a start here, a 2-out single, and looking for something here from Stephanie Abolt.
And the first pitch is going to be down low for a ball, 1-0.
Abolt bounced one back to Cortella the first time she was up today. Otherwise, she leads the team with 12 RBI.
Cortella winds, and the pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. That'll even the count up at 1-1.
A lot of motion over at first base for Slavic, coming right off that bag as soon as that pitch is released.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. The pitch is up high for a ball, 2-1. And, the Hawks got to be careful here, Dave. They already trail by a score of 8-0, and Jamie Holmes has an exceptional arm behind the plate.
Absolutely. As much as you'd like to get that runner over into scoring position, a little got to question that a little bit here as the count is 2-2, and they need Abolt to do something no matter what here on this at-bat.
The wind and the pitch is going to be bunted towards first. Played there by Cortella, and she guns it over to first base in time for the final out. So that time Abolt tried to bunt away on. A nice defensive play by Cortella to get her at first for the final out. For the Hawks here in their half of the fourth. No runs, a hit, 1 left. 3.5 in the books with the score. Dolphins 8, Hawks nothing. You're watching softball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back getting ready for the bottom half of the fourth inning. The Dolphins lead in this game by a score of 8-0. And, of course, Dave, what that means is that whether the Dolphins score in this inning or not, the Hawks need to score in their half of the fifth, or the Dolphins' winning streak will continue.
Yeah, and if you're Hunter, obviously, your first order of business is just to get off to some kind of a start. And I think last inning in the bottom of the third, they had a 3-up, 3-down inning defensively, facing off against the top of the order for the Dolphins. That was a good start. They managed to manufacture a base runner in their half of the fourth. Now, for Caroline Babula, she needs to continue her confidence level and get through the CSI order once again. But, of course, she has to start against Patricia Riches, who already has a single and a triple here in this one.
The wind and the first pitch to Riches is outside for a ball, 1-0.
The official line on Riches, 2 for 2, 3 RBI, a run scored as well.
We mentioned our average up now to 565 as that pitch is going to be taken for a ball, and that's going to run the count now to 2-0.
And for Riches, too, the longer her careers will go, teams will have to pitch around her.
As that ball is swung on and drilled into right center field, and again a misplay on the ball that time. The center fielder Crofts can't make the play, and Riches will keep running, and she'll make it into third base standing, and it looks like that's going to be scored a triple for Patricia Riches, as she will be on third base with no one out, Dave. But, you know, once again, certainly an opportunity for an out there, Dave.
Crofts has to make that play. There's just no two ways about it. Again, I agree with the call. That should be a hit, a ruled a hit. But it's a play, you know, center fielders have to make at this level in order to not prolong innings. And, you know, if you're, you know, the good thing about that play, you know, with Patricia Riches, she does so many things well, Mike. But again, as soon as that ball is hit, she is motoring down first base. And by the time that ball falls, she's already more than halfway over to second base. So that's just great heads-up base running as well. It's the only reason why she's standing at third right now.
Yeah, and she's also made just one error at shortstop here in the 2017 season. And just a phenomenal player. And
those are things that are kind of hard to teach, too, Mike, especially when your team is up 8-0. You know, to have that discipline. This is just a phenomenal player.
As that time it's going to be bunted by Joya as she's going to reach first base safely. I believe they'll score that a hit, Dave. Could be a fielder's choice. We'll wait for the official score, but that was going to be a tough play for Babula at first base anyway. But it is a base hit at least up on the scoreboard. And now the Dolphins with first and third, still nobody out. And Christy Coangelo, one of two Dolphins not to reach base this afternoon. She's 0 for 2.
Yeah, they're going to rule that a base hit. I thought that was a fielder's choice, Mike. I think Joya is dead to rights at first base if that's played. But Joya is going to take second, going to draw a throw.
As she just stands at second base, as now Riches is going to hold, and now she's going to come in and score easily. And, you know, these are the kind of plays, Dave, as the Dolphins add their 9th run that, you know, we used to see the Dolphins make all the time. And the difference in 2017 is they seem to never make those kind of mistakes anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Mike, when your team is up 8-0, it's easy to forget about those type of plays. But the Dolphins are staying disciplined. They're staying true to their style of softball. They understand this Hunter team is a good one. They can come back in this game. The Dolphins want to make them pay with the mistakes that they made.
So now they lead 9-0. Still nobody out as Coangelo grounds out to third. Monaco gets it over to Abel for the out, but Joya will be able to advance to third. So Coangelo now 0 for 3 as she grounds 3 for the first out of the inning as Joya takes third base, and that'll bring up the catcher, Jamie Holmes.
And again, Mike, that scoring sequence is all predicated by the fact that when Joya laid down that bunt, Caroline Babula hesitated, didn't make the sure out at first base, and the next thing you know, Joya's taking second. They got the stolen base from third. Again, you give this team just an inch, they're going to take a yard, and that's what good teams do. And again, it's just like Billy Beane said in the film Moneyball. They're giving you an out, you take the out. It's free. They're giving it to you. Hunter not able to do that.
As Holmes skies that one into center field, Crofts will make the catch, but coming in to score easily on the play will be Vanessa Joya. The Dolphins with 2 runs here now in the 4th inning, and they lead by a score of 10-0. And Jackie Cortella 3 outs away, Dave, from win number 9.
Yeah, absolutely. Dolphins have this one well in hand at this point now. Anything that they do is gravy. They should have plenty of runs on the scoreboard to sustain them the distance. And Nataro, with the bases clear, will try to give him another start now with 2 out.
The wind and the pitch is swung on, and that's going to be blooped into center field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. So Nataro now 3 for 3 on the afternoon She'll be on first base with 2 out, and that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Nicolette Trapani.
Yeah, that time again, Babula took a little bit off that last pitch, and Nataro just babied it over her head into shallow center field. And now we'll have Nicolette Trapani up.
Trapani, the likely starter in game number 2, as she swings and grounds that one to second. And looking over to second for some reason was the second baseman, but she comes back to first base, does Salvador for the final out of the inning. So Trapani grounds out 4-3. Dolphins scored 2 runs. Last chance for the Hawks coming up. 4 complete in the books. Dolphins 10, Hawks nothing. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back getting ready for the top half of the 5th inning. And, you know, Dave, both teams came in 6-0 this afternoon. Both teams were playing with a lot of confidence. But so far, at least through the first 4 innings of game number 1, it's been the College of Staten Island here this afternoon.
I got to be honest, Mike. I know we're the home broadcast. I know we broadcast for CSI, but this has been a pretty dominating performance by Staten Island in this one. I think we all kind of felt like 2 teams, their aces in the circle. Should be tight, should be close. It's a rivalry game. Both teams know it. Dolphins just come out here and just blown the doors off this opener. And Cotella, like you mentioned, 3 outs away from getting through a very brisk opening game here in easy fashion.
So Alana Veza will lead off. Veza came in batting .240. She's 0 for 1 this afternoon. She popped out to first. And the pitch is swung on and grounded towards third, foul. And that'll run the count now to 0-2. Cortella allowing just 2 hits on the afternoon, both of those to Victoria Slavic, who singled and doubled. But other than that, Cortella has been perfect here this afternoon. The wind and the pitch.
And
just off the plate, Dave, 1-2.
New life for Vesa. That was strike 3 in any other inning.
1 ball, 2 strikes here. As Cortella now winds. The 1-2 is swung on, skied in the air to center. Coangelo drifting in. She's under it, and she makes the catch for the first out. So 1 up, 1 down here in the top half of the 5th inning, and it's going to bring up the second baseman, Brittany Salvador.
Salvador struck out her first time up. She was the second strikeout of the game for Cortella, who has 3.
So Cortella ready, and here's the first pitch to Salvador, swing and a miss, strike 1.
We should tell folks at home, Mike, that should this game end prematurely, the second game will be played approximately 1/2 hour from this one. It was scheduled for a 2 o'clock start. It could be a little earlier than that.
The wind and the pitch is down low for a ball. That'll even the count up at 1-1.
Should also mention that the CSI baseball team is in action. They're at Salesian High School in New Rochelle to take on CCNY in a doubleheader.
As that's grounded to second, it's going to be played there by Galbo, and she gets it over to Trapani for the second out. So the Hawks are down to their final out here in game number 1.
And it'll be Brianna Monaco, who popped up right back to Cortella her first time up. Cortella was able to track into the infield and make the call on. Officially 0 for 1. Cortella, 50 straight innings without allowing an earned run, looking to make it 51.
She's looking for her 9th win, Dave, and incredibly came in with a .13 ERA and is poised to lower it here this afternoon.
Yeah, that leads the nation, the 0.13 ERA. And you know what, Mike, at some point, maybe a little later on this season, we'll have to start updating many of the record books.
as that's grounded to short, played there by Riches. She guns it over to Trapani in time for the final out of the inning. So Portela retires the side in order. She picks up her 9th victory. She picks up another shutout. The Dolphins' winning streak continues as they beat the Hawks in 4.5 innings by a final score of 10-0. And Dave, if you were going to write it up, you couldn't write it up any better if you're a Staten Island softball fan.
Absolutely, Mike. That game, very manageable, 64 minutes long. The Dolphins just came in, really laid the wood to Hunter, and have now get ready for game number 2. That was a dominating performance, Mike. The pitching performance, defensively behind Cortella, offensively at the plate. The Dolphins got the hits when they needed it, and man, that was an impressive show by the Dolphins. And you know what, Mike? Getting that first one it means a lot, because now it puts you in a position with a win in game 2, potentially, if all goes according to script. The Dolphins have put a ribbon on the CUNY regular season and are right now would control their own destiny the rest of the way.
Yeah, and just to look at Jackie Cortella for just a minute, Dave, before we break in between games, she's now has 9 appearances, all start. She has 8 complete games. The game she didn't have a complete game in, they just took her out because we were playing Lehman College and really taking care of them. She's allowed just 31 hits in 58 innings, just 10 walks, and is yet to hit a batter. What a phenomenal performance by Jackie Cortella here, Dave, in 2017.
Yeah, and probably the most dominating part of the performance, Mike, is, again, she's not going to blow people away. So she's not going to throw 60, 65 miles an hour and get you chasing at pitches outside the strike zone. She uses the strike zone to her advantage. She's very cerebral in her approach. She's just very effective. I'm trying to see if she had 63 pitches in the 5 innings, so she uses her pitches wisely. When she gets behind in counts, she trusts her stuff. She trusts her defense behind her, and it's a sign of a great player, a 4-year senior who's really running away with so many records, Mike. By the time this season is over, Jackie could have the records for innings pitched, for wins, for strikeouts. She's going to own so many, and the bottom line is she's a phenomenal hitter. So what she's not doing in the field and in the circle, she's killing you at the plate. So she's helping her own cause tremendously. Great player. She got 2 huge bombs from Patricia Riches. One of them was a long single. The other one was a base-clearing triple. That was the highlight offensively, and the Dolphins just completely ran away with this one from the start.
Dave, the Dolphins come out strong in game number 1 and play very well, but to make this win stick, they have to win game number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. If they win game 2, then they control their own destiny. They would have 4 games left in the conference. They'd be against Baruch, which already has 2 losses in conference, and it would be against John Jay. So the Dolphins essentially, from here on out, control their own destiny when it comes to the CUNY regular season championship. For Hunter, they need to rebound, Mike. It's not so much a must-win in the next game, but they need to show Staten Island that they're a legitimate test for them the rest of the way. Listen, Mike, we're realists. We know that somewhere down the road, these 2 teams are meeting again. Either it's going to be May 5th or May 6th, or maybe both of those days. But they're going to see each other again, these 2 teams. So what impression are you leaving behind? Because if this is the impression that they're leaving after game 1, it wasn't very good. Their defense was not good. They were completely off balance at the plate. And the bottom line is their pitcher, their young freshman pitcher, definitely very talented, definitely stayed poised up there, even in the wake of some defensive slip-ups, but perhaps not quite ready for prime time like we maybe thought she was.
Yeah, so the Dolphins win game number 1 by a final score of 10-0. They continue their winning ways. Their unbeaten streak has now gone up to 14. They're now 18-3 on the year. So why don't we step aside, take a break for a few minutes, and then we'll get back. We'll maybe wrap up this first game a little bit, get you ready for game number 2. Dave Bazzuta will bring you play-by-play for game number 2 as the College of Staten Island wins this first game by a final score of 10-0, opening their conference record to 7-0. So we'll step aside and take a break. You've been watching women's softball coverage exclusively on your voice for everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Live from the CSI Softball Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet is proud to welcome you back into coverage of College of Staten Island women's softball. The CSI Dolphins, fresh off of a 10-0 win over Hunter College, get set for Game 2 of our scheduled doubleheader between the CSI Dolphins and the Hunter College Hawks. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm David Pizzuto alongside Mike Babuski. And Mike, Game 1 could not have gone any better for the College of Staten Island. A 10-0 game on the scoreboard. Jackie Catella cruised in the pitcher's circle. Dolphins got timely hitting. All cylinders firing away.
Yeah, they really did, Dave. The Dolphins came out, scored a run in the bottom half of the first inning, added 7 in the second, and, really never looked back from there. And, with the way that Jackie Cortella's been pitching this year, she picks up her 9th win. She pitches a 2-hit shutout, pitches only 2 batters over the minimum, both hits by Victoria Slavic. And, like you mentioned, Dave, the Dolphins really just firing on all cylinders, as hot as you could possibly be, taking advantage of every mistake an opponent makes as they continue to roll on here so far this year and pick up their 18th win against only 3 losses.
And the Dolphins, or a couple of the Dolphins, have started to take the field. And, of course, the first one of those is number 23, Nicolette Trapani. She gets the start in the pitcher's circle for the Dolphins here in Game 2. Now she retreats back just so she could be a part of the team huddle, Mike. But Trapani plugging along this season. She's 6-2 with a 1.11 ERA. Another one of those dynamic pitchers for the Dolphins, and she's going to go up against a Hunter College lineup, which didn't pose too many threats against Jackie Catella.
Yeah, and Dave, it just goes to show you how deep this Dolphin pitching staff is. Trapani, 3rd on the team in ERA with a 1.11 ERA. And a 6-2 record. And, like Cortella, Trapani doing a great job keeping runners off of the bases. She's allowed just 33 hits in 44 innings, just 9 walks, Dave. And, that's the formula of success in college softball. And Trapani has allowed less than a base runner per inning so far this year, and really doing just an absolute phenomenal job.
And before we look at Hunter's lineup, there are obviously some defensive changes for the Dolphins in the field, obviously with Cortella moving from the pitcher circle over to second base.
Yeah, and Dave, this might actually be the best defensive lineup for the Dolphins defensively as Holmes moves into first base here in game number 2. Cortella will be at second. That's one change. Nicole Malak will be in left. That's an interesting substitution, Dave, that we'll have a chance to talk about. And Vanessa Joya will move from left field to behind home plate here in game number 2. And Antoinette Galbo, Dave, who has really been, I think, a little bit underrated as a fielder this year, will go from second base to third base. And, whether she's been playing second or third, Dave, she's been playing Gold Glove caliber softball all season long.
And at third base, she takes over for Christina Tafano, the reigning 2-time player of the year for the Dolphins. No other player played third base in 4 seasons other than Trapani. So Galbo, big shoes to fill, and she's been doing it very well. Hunter, Mike, a couple of changes in their lineup, but really a carbon copy from game 1.
Yeah, and let's get you their lineup here really quickly as Carolyn Bublia will lead off and play second base in game number 2.
And she takes low for a ball, so the count evens 1-1.
The remainder of the Hawk lineup, Taylor Crofts in center batting second, Samantha Malloy in left batting third, Victoria Slavic in right field, she'll bat 4th.
As another one is spoiled away, as Trapani took something off that one, 1-2.
As Annalise McLean, a new player in the game for the Hawks in game number 2, will be the designated player and bat 5th. Stephanie Bolt will bat 6th and play 1st. Alana Veza will catch and bat 7th.
Another one spoiled away, third base side.
Alicia Davisic will be at third base and bat 8th. Jamie Dorso will be at shortstop and bat 9th. And Lana Donahue will be the pitcher in game number 2, Dave, for the Hawks.
We'll have more on Donahue's line when she comes to face the Dolphins as Trapani throws her glove on that one. That's bounced back to her. The throw to first is in time, and there's one away.
Yeah, and a pretty good defensive play that time by Trapani to start off the game for the Dolphins. You don't want to allow that leadoff base runner to get on. Trapani makes the play, 1 up, 1 down for the Hawks.
And so it will be Taylor Crofts. Crofts went 0 for 2 in the opener against Cortella. Now new life against Trapani. We had a 5-pitch at bat under, and that one goes up high for the first ball in the count, 1-0.
Hawks looking to salvage the second half of this doubleheader.
That one is skied into the air in center. And getting up under it is Coangelo, who makes the catch in shallow center field. So 2 up, 2 down here for Hunter in the top of the first.
Yeah, and, we mentioned, Dave, briefly before we came on the air, what a phenomenal season Nicole Trapani is having for the Dolphins here, Dave, so far in 2017.
Yep, opponents averaging just 204 against her. That's a career low for her as she deals dead red there for a strike.
And in any other year but this one, Dave, she would be on pace to be the all-time leader at single-season ERA for the Dolphins. That's how phenomenally this team is pitching this year.
Throws one low and inside for a ball, so the count evens up to Samantha Malloy. Hunter's best hitter went 0 for 2 in the opener. She will see a 1-1 pitch here, offers at it, and that one is popped to Cortella. She makes the routine catch after taking a step to her right, and Hunter goes 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first inning. The Dolphins come to bat with no score here between the Hawks and the Dolphins. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Softball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. And welcome back here to the CSI Softball Complex. We bring you in here as the Dolphins are getting ready to hit for the first time. Mike, let's take a look at the Dolphins starting lineup again. Not much has changed, but a couple of switches in the lineup.
Yeah, just really one new batter in the Dolphin lineup here, Dave, in game number 2, and that'll be Nicole Malak. It'll be Jackie Cortella leading off and playing second base. Antoinette Galbo will be at third. She'll bat second. Patricia Riches will be at shortstop. She'll bat third. Vanessa Joya will catch in game number 2. She'll bat fourth. Christy Coangelo will be in center field. She'll bat fifth. Jamie Holmes will go from behind the plate to first base here in game number 2. She'll bat sixth. Ashley Notaro, the designated player once again. Nicole Malak, the new player in the game for the Dolphins, she'll be in left field. Juliana Cortella will be in right field. She'll bat ninth. And Nicolette Trapani will be on the mound for the Dolphins. Trapani coming in, as we mentioned, with a record of 6-2 on the year.
And they will all face Leanna Donahue, who's getting her 5th start of the season. She's 1-3 with a 3.41 ERA. Get you the rest of her line momentarily. She will deal to Cortella, and Cortella lines one into left center field, and that one fielded not cleanly by Malloy, but it will go down as a single as the Dolphins on the first pitch of the game have their first base runner of the game. It'll be Cortella at first. The rest of the line for Donahue, she's pitched 24.2 innings this season. Mike has given up 39 hits, 20 runs, 12 of them earned, 7 walks, 12 strikeouts. But, Mike, opponents batting .348 against her as Galbo lays down the bunt. The throw to first is in time. So the sacrifice completed by Galbo, and it'll bring up Riches with Cortella at second base.
Yeah, an interesting decision that time by head coach Stella Porto to bunt in the first inning. But, of course, Galbo does have the speed to beat it out. But she'll get credited with a sacrifice there, Dave. She now has 6 for the season and is second on the team.
Yeah, does well in that area. And, of course, you love having runners in scoring position with this young lady at the dish, Patricia Riches, who only went 3 for 3 in the first game with 3 RBI and 2 runs scored.
Yeah, that ups her average, Dave, to .571, 7 doubles, 2 triples, 3 homers, and 24 RBIs.
And that one in the dirt as she sees another one well out of the strike zone, so the count goes to 2-0. Obviously, Hunter very aware of what Riches can do. And Cortella has wheels at second base, so anything hit sharply for a single will probably score her. And that one hit in the air to center field over Croft's head. It gets to the warning track and off the wall. Riches rounding second. She will try for third, will be in there sliding, and a RBI triple for Patricia Riches. She's 4 for 4 in the afternoon. The Dolphins lead 1-0.
Yeah, Patricia Riches just keeps plugging along, Dave. That's her 3rd double of the afternoon. She's 4 for 4. Another RBI. The Dolphins lead by a score 1-0 as she rockets that one deep in right center field for the triple, her 3rd triple of the afternoon.
And now she is 1 base away from scoring herself with Vanessa Joya now at the plate. Joya went 2 for 3. With an RBI and 2 runs scored in the opener. She takes high for ball one. The Dolphins have come right out and attacked Leanna Donahue, not getting deep into the count, swinging at whatever is close. Those two pitches were not. One high, one low to Joya. She'll have a 2-0 pitch to look at here, Mike.
Yeah, coming into the game, Dave, she'd allowed 47 base runners in just 24 2/3 innings, so opponents have been able to get on.
And that one is smoked down the third base line, gets all the way to the wall and skips there on Malloy. Joya in at second easily with an RBI double. Dolphins have doubled their lead. It's 2-0.
And in game number one, Dave, the Dolphins took advantage of some shaky Hawk defense. Here in game number two, they're coming out and hitting ropes all over the field. Second extra base hit in a row for the Dolphins. Their third hit in 4 batters, and they already lead by a score of 2-0, still looking to do more damage, with Joya now on second and 1 out, and Christy Colangelo, the batter.
Colangelo, one of only 2 spots in the order in the last game that did not register a hit. She officially 0 for 3. But she's got Joya to work with here at second, and the Dolphins, as Mike said, hitting the ball very well. Drops down the bunt, and it will roll foul as it did not get past the plate. And another hot pitcher in Nicolette Trapani now, Dave, gets to come out with a lead after 1 inning. So both games here this afternoon, Dave, the Dolphins pick up a run in the first inning to take the lead. And, you know, when you're pitching well and playing well and you get a run in the first inning. And that one is a line drive right up the middle of the infield. That'll be a base hit. Joya will stop at third. Colangelo halts at first. Dolphins were now runners at the corners.
And Colangelo joins the hit parade, Dave. But like I was saying, when you're trugging along and you get good pitching and early lead, everything just seems to flow from there. And, you know, in almost every game, Dave, the Dolphins score in the first inning.
And the Dolphins are threatening here with already 2 runners in. First and third, 1 out. It's a perfect opportunity for the Dolphins to try their stolen base attempt here, as squaring up to bunt. The throw to second, cut off by the shortstop Durso, not allowing Joya to advance. So Colangelo registers a stolen base. The count 1-0 to Holmes. Holmes went 0 for 2 in the opener, but did have an RBI via fielder's choice.
That's Christie's second stolen base of the year, Dave. She's 2 for 2.
2 runners in scoring position for Holmes. She'll face a 1-0 pitch from Donahue. Here's the delivery. That one is skied into the infield. Durso under it, makes the catch. Runners hold, 2 outs.
Yeah, that time Holmes got under that one and pops it up to short. A good out there, a big out that time for the Hawks and Donahue. So now it'll take a 2-out hit for the Dolphins to improve on their 2-0 lead.
Nataro missed the doubleheader yesterday against Connecticut, but she responded well in this one. 3 for 3 in the opener with an RBI and a run scored, so she's looking to stay red hot. That one well outside for a ball.
Dave, and that's before the 3 for 3, so she's probably up around 350 now.
Nataro will get a 1-0 pitch to look at here, and that one is straight down the middle. Nataro bounces it back to Donahue, who makes the play over at first, but not before the Dolphins spread out 4 hits and register 2 runs on the scoreboard. We are at the end of 1. The Dolphins lead the Hawks 2-0. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Dolphins softball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Welcome back to the CSI softball complex here. The Dolphins have given starting pitcher Nicolette Trapani a 2-run lead here, Mike, after 1 inning of play. She went through the Hunter top of the order, 1, 2, 3, coming out here for inning number 2.
Yeah, Trapani started out the game very hot, Dave. She was able to retire the Hawks in under 10 pitches in that first inning in order, and then the Dolphins come out in game number 2, a couple of extra base hits, a couple of RBIs, and they take a 2-0 lead. And again, just a team that's on a roll, playing with confidence, gets to start the second inning with a lead.
Trapani will face the 4, 5, 6 hitters. The 4 hitter is Victoria Slavic, who had a good afternoon in the first game against Cortella. She was the only Hunter College player to register a hit, and she had 2 of them, a double and a single, 2 for 2 officially. The double was down the left field line. The single was in right center. And now she'll have her first stab at Trapani. The lefty hitter sees a strike down the heart of the plate.
That time, Trapani starting Slavic off with a little bit of a slower pitch, Dave, than she was expecting. She takes it for a strike.
Oh, Trapani gets the sign, now deals, and that one is skied into the shallow depths of shortstop area. Riches is there to make the catch easily, and there's one down.
So Slavic pops up, and the Dolphins finally retire her, Dave, for the first time this afternoon.
So, sorry, Mike, Annalise McLennan, who's getting her 11th start of the season with her first action of the afternoon. She's batting .269 this season with 9 RBIs. Here's the pitch that she'll take upstairs for a ball.
Okay, a couple of changes in the lineup here for the Hawks in game number 2. They know they need a little bit more offense against the Dolphins. Let's see how Annalise does against Trapani.
Right-handed bat, as you could see, and she sees that one on the low corner of the strike zone, so the count goes to 1-1. As we mentioned, McLennan with her 11th start. She's added 6 runs scored into the mix as well. That one is swung on and hit. Humpback liner back to Riches, who's now registered both outs here in this inning. And that'll bring up Stephanie Abolt with Hunter down to their final out here in the second. Abolt went 0 for 2 in the opener. Once again playing first base as she did in game 1. Right-handed batter. Sees that one on the high end of the strike zone, 0-1. Hunter playing in only their 16th game of the season. That one is popped up once again towards short, over the shoulder. Riches can't make the play, and that will drop in for a bloop single in between shortstop and left field, just making the grass, or the synthetic turf, we should say, and Hunter's got their first hit.
So Stephanie Abolt gets the tying run at the plate here for the Hawks in the bottom half of, the top half of the second inning as she bloops a 2-out single, and it'll bring up the first baseman for the Hawks.
Alana Veza actually is catching in this one. She's 0 for 2. Abolt is at first. Here's the pitch, right back to Trapani. She's able to stop it with the glove. The throw to first is in time, and the Dolphins escape after yielding their first hit of this game, too. They retire Hunter in the top of the second. At the end of 1.5 innings of play, that's the CSI Dolphins 2 and the Hunter College Hawks 0. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Softball right here on CSI Sportsnet. Welcome back here to the CSI Softball Complex. The Dolphins were able to register a couple of runs off of Hunter starter Donahue in the first, and now they go after Leanna again here in the second. They will start with their 8-9 hitters, and then they'll be back at the top of the order with Catella.
Yeah, so Nicole Malak will get her first at-bat of the afternoon here for the College of Staten Island. Nicole coming in batting .231 on the year, 3 of 13 with a triple and a couple of RBIs, but you know, Dave, once again, Trapani coming out, working efficiently, gives up the bloop hit, puts it right behind her, retires the Hawks in order, and the Hawks with just 3 hits so far this afternoon, Dave, through 7 innings of pitching by the Dolphins.
Yeah, so the job now for Leanna Donahue is to try and keep the Dolphins at bay. They have been able to put a lot of runs up on the board and have seen Hunter in a couple of holes. Donahue gave up 4 hits in the bottom of the first inning. Now, leading off here in the bottom of the second is, as Mike mentioned, Nicole Malek. She's getting her 8th start of the season. Hit a big triple yesterday. She's batting .200. Limited action, 3 for 15 at the plate. Couple of RBIs, couple of runs scored. Swings at the first pitch, and it's hit to Devisek, the third baseman. So 1 out. 1 pitch, 1 out here for the Dolphins.
Yeah, 1 up, 1 down quickly, and Juliana Quintella to bat for the Dolphins. And Quintella, another good game for the Dolphins in game number 1, Dave, going 1 for 2.
Quintella 1 for 2, as Mike mentioned. Outside, sees a ball. Looking to set the table for the top of the order.
Another freshman starter for the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins are a team really that dominated by upperclassmen this year after being young for the last few seasons, but we forget that there are a couple of dynamic first-year players who are littering the lineup. As Quintella takes inside for a strike 2, 2-2. Quintella is one of those. Pretty much has progressed into an everyday starter for the Dolphins and plays a very good right field. That one well high, so the count will go to 3-1 actually. I said 2-2 earlier. Count is 3-1.
And you got to be careful now if you're Donahue here, Dave. You don't want to walk the number 9 batter.
And looked like Quintella might have offered at ball number 4 as that was high and outside, but spoils it first base side, so it'll be a payoff pitch upcoming for Donahue. Donahue with only 7 walks through 24 and 2/3 innings. And that one is cut on the ground. Nice scoop there by Babula. She deals to a bolt in time, and it's 2 up, 2 down for the Dolphins.
So a nice job of pitching here by Donahue, recording the first 2 Dolphins in order, and it'll be back to the top of the lineup and Jackie Quintella.
Yeah, so Quintella, 1 for 1. She singled to left center, scored a run. She leads the Dolphins in that department. Runs scored, threatening the CSI single season record if she keeps it up. That one is well low for a ball.
Jackie 1 for 3 with a run and an RBI, along with her 2-hit shutout in game number 1.
Yeah, not a bad afternoon. And that one is taken inside corner for a strike. Quintella, as Mike mentioned, 1 for 3 in the opener, 1 for 1 here, so batting an even .500 in this series so far. Here's the pitch from Donahue, again, well outside and low for a ball, 2-1. Quintella, once she does get on base, always a threat to run around. Stolen bases and all. Has a propensity to make singles into doubles, turn doubles into triples.
Yeah, she's always looking for every advantage, Dave, and if you don't pay attention to her or you throw the ball around the infield without paying attention, she's always ready to take that extra base.
So a 2-2 pitch upcoming with 2 out. Here's the pitch. High and outside, so it'll be another 3-2 pitch upcoming from Donahue. She got Quintella to ground out. Last 3-2 pitch that was offered. Now with 2 outs, looking to get out of this inning, 1-2-3. Here's the payoff pitch. It's swung on, it's hit in the air towards center. Crofts is there, backpedals, makes the catch, and the Dolphins are retired 1-2-3 here in the second. We go to the 3rd inning of play. It's the CSI Dolphins 2 and Hunter College nothing. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Softball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Welcome back to the CSI Softball Complex here. We're getting set for inning number 3. Nicolette Trapani has faced 7 batters through the first 2 innings. She'll face 8, 9, and 1 here in inning number 3.
Yeah, and Trapani off to another good start here this afternoon. She's just allowed that 1 bloop single with 2 out to Stephanie Abol through the first couple innings, and the Dolphins put 2 up in the first. Hunter doing a nice job retiring the Dolphins in order for only the second time this afternoon in inning number 2. So we now head to the top of the third.
The Dolphins are working on 4 straight shutouts coming into this game. They had a 5-0 shutout against Purchase in the second game of a doubleheader. They had 2 shutouts yesterday, and of course they shut out Hunter in game 1 earlier today, as that one skips off the glove of Joya. We'll start here to the number 8 hitter, Alicia Davisek. Davisek batting .214 this season. This is only her 8th start. She did not play in the opener, as we have a timeout.
And not sure what the delay is in the game here, but we have a discussion now between Ralph Molina and the home plate umpire.
I think it was because of the first pitch. Obviously, we saw it go off of the glove well high. So Hunter was wondering why that was called a ball. It was because Davisek might have stepped out of the batter's box as the pitch was coming in. So that's automatically a strike. And now she sees dead red for strike 2. So Trapani now ahead in the count 0-2.
Yeah, good call there, Dave. I had already marked it a ball in my scorecard.
That's exactly what it was. I heard the first base coach also argue as that one goes well high for a ball.
Dovisek's first at bat here this afternoon as she goes in at third base.
And that one is swung on and hit. That comes outside the glove, and actually that's a foul, as getting a piece of it was Davisek, and Joya could not corral it. And out of her glove. Sorry, Mike.
That's okay. Joy almost had that one, Dave. Just popped out of her glove. So new life for Dovisek at 1 and 2.
Yeah, didn't realize she even got a piece of that one, but just a hair on it. That one is swung on and ripped past Davisek. So that'll be the first strikeout of the game for Trapani, and her 34th strikeout of the season. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Jamie Durso. Durso was 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the first game. Squares off to bunt, but that'll be bunted foul down the first base side. Mike Durso also had a very eventful game in the field at shortstop. Had the one error, but really had a lot of balls hit her way.
Yeah, and, you know, sometimes as a freshman, you got to battle through games like that, and, you know, it'll be interesting to see how Durso bounces back here in game number 2.
So 0-1 is the count there, and that one is just a bit inside for ball number 1, as Trapani was able to really put a lot of mustard on that. And it's one area, you know, when you're used to seeing Catella really find her spots, it's with Trapani, it's a lot more power behind it. Holmes is able to make the throw over to Catella, who was right at first base coming in from second to make that play. So Durso is retired 3-4, and we have 2 outs here as we get the top of the order back up. Caroline Babula, who grounded back to Trapani her first time up.
And that was a tough defensive play the Dolphins made look pretty easy, Dave, but it wasn't for the second out.
That one is swung on and fisted in towards left field. Malak is able to make the basket catch on the run coming in. So a nice play by Malak in the field, and Hunter is retired 1-2-3 here in the top of the third inning. We go to the bottom of the third. The Dolphins retain a 2-0 lead. Stay with us. We welcome you back into play here. Bottom of the third inning between Hunter and CSI. Game 2 of a scheduled doubleheader. Dolphins won the opener 10-0. They lead 2-0 here as they get set to take their at-bats here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, and, you know, a nice second inning for Donahue. She's now retired the last 5 Dolphins in a row, Dave, since the Dolphins added their second run of the game. And she's going to have an opportunity now to face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Dolphins. For the Dolphins, Galbo, Riches, and Joya in the bottom half of the third inning.
The first out that Donahue registered was on Galbo's sacrifice bunt back in the first. So Galbo with no official at-bats in this game. She was 2 for 3 in the opener with an RBI and a couple of runs scored. And as Mike mentioned earlier today, she picked up her 6th sack bunt of the season, and that time she's swinging away into right field. And there to make the catch is Slavik after a short run. And the Dolphins on one pitch have registered an out.
Yeah, and that's 6 in a row now for Donahue, who's done a nice job settling into a groove and keeping this Dolphin offense in check and keeping Hunter in the game here. But now she'll have to face Patricia Riches, who Hunter has not been able to retire this afternoon.
Yeah, on the afternoon she's 4 for 4. Today she's 1 for 1 with an RBI triple. Back in the first inning, that scored Catella, who had led off the game with a base hit. Riches would come in to score herself, so that's the second run the Dolphins have on the board. 1-0 pitch upcoming. That one is lined into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Throw to first, not in time. And so Riches now 5 for 5 on the afternoon, and she has a base runner in place here for the Dolphins.
Yeah, she's red hot and really hitting the ball well. That was another well-struck ball to the opposite field. And pitcher's trying to stay away from her power, Dave, and she's driving the ball to the opposite field.
Last time Joya was up, she smoked one down the third base line over the head of Davisic at third. And she takes that one high for ball 1. Next to Riches, Joya's shot was probably the most hard hit by the Dolphins here today. That first pitch was called a strike. I don't know how. That was way high in the strike zone, but that one is outside. So Donahue will give a look in. Riches is at first. That one is swung on and cut up the middle and past the glove of a diving Babula. Getting into third easily will be Riches. So now the Dolphins will have runners at the corners for Christy Colangelo.
And, you know, one of the things that Riches does really well, Dave, is play out a lot of the intangibles out on the field. And that time, she didn't hesitate rounding second and going to third base. And, you know, a lot of players are satisfied getting to second on that play. And she was thinking third base all the way.
And dropping down the bunt is Colangelo. And she will leg out a hit off the bunt, as Davisic hesitated just momentarily, but that was enough. So a base hit on the bunt for Colangelo, who legs that one out in time. So now Riches at third, Joya at second, Colangelo at first. Jamie Holmes is the batter. And Dolphins, again, one swing away from really opening this game up here. They already lead 2-0. And that one is once again popped up lazily towards second base. And getting the glove on it is Babula. And so, for the second time, Holmes pops out for a second out. And now it'll be up to Ashley Nataro. Nataro grounded back to the pitcher her first time up on one hop.
Yeah, that was a big RBI opportunity that time for Holmes. She's come up a couple of times here in game number 2 and popped up to the infield both times.
And that one is grounded weakly towards third, but that'll drift foul. They did not score that a hit again for Christy Colangelo on the drop bunt, so they'll continue to call it a fielder's choice sack bunt, Mike. Tough call for Colangelo, but she has no official at-bat on the play. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit left side of the infield. Making the play was Durso. Her throw to first is in time. And so Hunter College escapes a bases-loaded one-out jam by retiring 2 in a row. And at the end of 3 complete, the Dolphins hang on to a small 2-0 lead. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Softball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We welcome you back here to the CSI Softball Complex. Nicolette Trapani through the first 3 defensive innings for the Dolphins has faced 1 batter over the minimum, Mike, so she's plugging away and will now face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters as we get set for the middle rounds, the 4th inning here at CSI.
You know, it's hard to believe, Dave, but Nicolette Trapani's coming into today's game with a career record of 35-11 for the CSI Dolphins. And, you know, Dave, this is a pitcher that went 14-4 with a 3.66 ERA in her first year, which she allowed 137 hits in 122 innings, to a season now where through her first appearances, she's allowed just 33 hits in 44 innings. The development by Trapani has been just phenomenal over the last 3 years.
She'll have to face Crofts here leading off. Crofts is 0 for 1. She flied out to Colangelo in center field her first time up, shallow center. And that one is lined into right field. That'll drop in, fair ball. Play to first, definitely not in time. And so Hunter's got their second base hit of the game, and it's a leadoff one at that. Crofts is at first with a base hit.
Nice job that time by the senior, Taylor Crofts, to drive that ball down the right field line, get the second hit of the afternoon, and have the leadoff runner on for the first time today.
Malloy shows bunt, pulls back. It'll be registered as a ball. Here's Hunter looking to put runners in motion. Malloy officially 0 for 1 in the afternoon. She popped back to second base, a weak liner, if you will. And that one is popped up right in front of Joya. Joya makes the diving stab for the out. Great job by Vanessa Joya on the would-be sacrifice. It registered as an out, and having to stay put at first base was Crofts.
Yeah, and you know, Joya plays a very strong left field for the Dolphins, and she's also a great catcher as well, Dave, and showed it on that play. Really got out of her stance quickly and made a beautiful diving play for the first out.
So Slavic, a little choke up on the bat here. We'll see if she decides to lay one down with 1 out. She's swinging away, and that one is dribbled towards third. Dolphins go towards second, and out at second. Nice play, Galbo over to Catella. Catella stepping on the bag just in before Crofts, and now there's two away.
Yeah, that was a very gutty play that time by Galbo, and a very close play at second, but Galbo gunned it to Cortella, who was on at the bag in time to make the play. Good defensive play by the Dolphins to get the lead runner for the second out.
McClellan lined out to shortstop, a weak liner back in the to start the back in the second inning. So she's officially 0 for 1, and it will be Slavic at first. 1-0 count upcoming. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled. First base side as it registers off the backstop here. 1-1 is our count. Trapani looks inside, and there's a cut and a miss. Strike 2. That's should be 1 and 2. Oh, strike 3. All right. Everybody got fooled out here at the table. Mike, you had it correctly. And so Nicolette Trapani registers the strikeout, her second one of the afternoon. And the Dolphins are out of the 4th inning after yielding a leadoff single. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Dolphins with 2 runs, looking to add more here coming up next. We are back here, the bottom half of the 4th inning upcoming. Leanna Donahue working in her 4th inning. Got into trouble, Mike, in the first. Was able to get out after yielding just 2 runs. And then with the bases loaded and 1 out, she was able to get out of another jam in the 3rd, now working her 4th full inning.
Yeah, you know, Donahue's done a very good job pitching here in game number 2 here for the Hunter College Hawks. And Donahue, just a sophomore pitcher, coming out and pitching well, and, you know, pitching in a game that Hunter really needs here in game number 2, and keeping the Hawks in it through the first 3 innings as they trail by a score of 2-0. But now will be the 4th attempt for the Dolphins to bat here, and it'll be Malik, Cortella, and Cortella, 8, 9, and 1.
Malik popped out to third base, her first time up, and pops that one straight up in the air. Calling everyone off is the catcher, Veza, who makes the catch in foul territory. So a pop foul back to the catcher. 1 pitch, 1 out for the Dolphins. And it'll be Juliana Cretella who grounded out to second base her first time up.
So Nicole Malak has only seen 2 pitches this afternoon, and she's popped up on both of them. She's 0 for 2.
Cretella on her last at-bat took Donahue deep into an at-bat, but ended up grounding out a payoff pitch. She sees that one go outside and low for ball 1. Looking to set the table for the top of the order, which is done very well for the Dolphins here in this one. And that one is lined over to first, but stepping over and making the play is Abolt. So Cretella gets a good bat on that one, but it's lined straight to Abolt. And the Dolphins now on 3 pitches are down to their final out.
And the Hawks doing a much better job here in game number 2, Dave, making the plays that are out in front of them, and it's reflected in the scoreboard as they just trail by a score of 2-0.
Cretella has hit 2 balls sharply. She is 1 for 2 officially. And she hits that one straight back for strike 1. Cretella singled and scored in the first, and then flied out to end the second inning. 0-1 pitch here, pitcher against pitcher. Cretella refuses to offer at that one, sees it drift outside for a ball, so it's 1-1. Donahue looks in, here's the delivery, swung on, and once again fouled straight back. No play for Veza. Gonna be 1-2. Galbo is on deck. She's officially 0 for 1. She flied out to right field her last time up. Cretella looking for her 3rd hit of the afternoon outside, as Veza extended to make that one, so the count will go to 2-2.
Lots of softball coming up this weekend for the Dolphins, Dave. Monday and Tuesday on the road.
That one is smoked down the third base line, but foul.
As they'll play Farmingdale State and then Baruch on the road. Montclair State right here at the Staten Island Softball Complex this Thursday. And then Top 10 Moravian this Saturday on the road.
That one skips in the dirt for ball 3, so a 3-2 pitch up coming for Cretella. And that's right, we should mention that our next broadcast for softball will be on the 20th. That's Thursday against Montclair State, a doubleheader starting at 3:30. Swung on and hit sharply down the third base line, but foul. But yeah, we've seen a lot of baseball in a row here at home on Sportsnet, and now we have softball here that'll be going on here for the foreseeable future. Of course, before that on Tuesday, we'll be back on Sportsnet covering baseball. The annual Grace Hillary Breast Cancer Awareness Night is Tuesday. And that one is popped up first base side, but that will drift well foul. Dolphins will play Drew University, the Dolphins baseball team will. 7 o'clock Tuesday night for the annual Grace Hillary Breast Cancer Awareness Game, a game, Mike, that has raised just about $65,000 since its inception, all for the Staten Island Breast Cancer Research Initiative, so the Dolphins giving it back to the community. And that one skips in for ball 4.
And, of course, that's the premier baseball game here at Staten Island every year, Dave. And, you know, it's been Drew coming the last several years to participate in it, and something, of course, that we really look forward to every year.
Absolutely, as Antoinette Galbo will now step in. And she will see the first strike of the at-bat. And that walk, Mike, was the first walk all afternoon by any of the pitchers that we've seen. So good controlled softball here, and Cretella gets the game's first walk. She's at first. And that one took something off of it. There's the play over to first. It will be in time. Nice job by Durso to track that one and make the throw into first. And so we go into the 5th. Both teams have been kept off the scoreboard for the last 3 innings, but it's CSI holding fast to a 2-0 lead after 4. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Women's Softball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We are back here at the CSI Softball Complex. Dave Pizzuto alongside Mike Babuski here. We get you set for the later rounds here. Innings 5, 6, and 7. The Dolphins up by 2-0. Nicolette Trapani working into her 5th inning. She's yielded 2 hits, including a leadoff hit in the last inning. The Dolphins were able to work around that and have kept Hunter off the scoreboard here through 9 straight innings this afternoon.
Dolphins doing another nice job here in game number 2, grinding out the innings, playing each inning one at a time, playing very well defensively, and leading by a score of 2-0 as once again they've held the opponent scoreless through 4.
Abolt is 1 for 1 on the afternoon. She is our hitter. She hit one in shallow left field over the shoulder of Patricia Riches and in front of Nicole Malik. Here's the pitch. And that one is smoked into center field. Line drive, base hit for Stephanie Abolt. So she's now 2 for 2. And for the 2nd straight inning, Hunter has a leadoff single to work with. And now taking the bat will be Alana Veza.
Yeah, and it's been the seniors for Hunter College here this afternoon with all the hits, Dave, as it was Slavic with 2 in the first game, Crofts with a hit here, and Abolt with the other 2.
Veza hit one back to the pitcher her first time, but now hitting one into right, and Colangelo failed to yield. Critella, you could hear her calling Colangelo off, and that's a good heads-up play by Critella to stay with it. That was almost disaster waiting to happen, but the Dolphins do get the out, and Alicia Dovisek will be the batter. She struck out swinging her first time up, one of 2 strikeouts for Trapani. The pitch, and that one just missing inside for ball 1.
Yeah, and to go back to that play for a minute, Dave, you know, usually it's always the center fielder's call, but that ball was so far over in right field, Dave, that it just looked like a routine play for the right fielder, but Christie kept coming after it.
But a good job by Critella not to yield and to stand her ground. You can hear her calling it, even for us to hear it, as we're wearing of course, our headsets that block out a lot of the excess noise. 2-0 is our count here. Dovisek chops one over to short. Riches makes the immediate out at second. Dovisek is safe at first. So a fielder's choice is registered off the bat of Dovisek, but she will be at first base. 2 outs now, and it'll be up to Jamie Durso.
And a rare bobble that time by Riches cost the Dolphins an opportunity at the double play, but they still get the lead runner for the 2nd out.
Durso grounded to first, her first time up, and she fists one foul down the first base line. On deck is Babula, the leadoff hitter for Hunter. She's 0 for 2. 0-1 pitch up coming by Trapani, and that one lined over to first base. Jamie Holmes doesn't have to move, makes the catch immediately. And so Hunter, once again, for the 2nd straight inning, get a leadoff hit to start with, but then are retired from there. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's the Dolphins leading the Hawks 2-0. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Women's Softball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Welcome back here to the CSI Softball Complex as we get set for the bottom of the 5th inning between CSI and Hunter College. The Dolphins winning game 1 10-0, up ahead in this one 2-0. Mike, the CSI baseball team is red hot. They've won 4 games in a row, and they were at last check leading CCNY 3-0 in their first of 2 games. It was still early. We haven't had an update in a while from that game. CSI men's tennis, Mike, has won 6 in a row, so CSI Dolphins program is doing very well here since the weather has broken and we've been able to get some games and matches in. Spring sports really doing well on the field of play.
Yeah, they certainly are, as the men now defeating CCNY 2 days in a row in baseball.
Yep, and of course, Dolphins completing a 3-game set with CCNY, so they'll play 2 at Salesian High School, home field for CCNY. Trisha Riches, meanwhile, 5 for 5 today and hits that one foul, so she will see an 0-2 pitch up coming from Donahue. Riches in game 1, 3 for 3, and this one 2 for 2. She's got a triple and a single. She has an RBI and a run scored in this one. Drove in CSI's first run, scored their second. That one is swung on and hit. Will it dip in front of the right fielder? Yes, it will. And it may have gotten a glove on that with Slavic. We'll see how that gets scored. Slavic had to really race in and try to corral that one. And they're going to say that's a hit, Mike. It did go off the glove of Riches, but it did drop in there. So Riches gets the benefit of the doubt. When you bat 580, that'll happen. Now 590 on the season. She's 6 for 6 today. And Vanessa Joya now with an opportunity. And that one is popped up on a sac bunt. It is corralled in by Donahue. So that's a tough break for Joya, who made a great defensive play to break up a sac bunt in the defensive side. And she pops that one out.
Yeah, and a nice job by Hunter College here, Dave. Really coming back in game number 2 and really showing why they came into the game undefeated in conference play, playing a much stronger game, especially in the field here in game number 2.
Colangelo rips one into the outfield, and that is out past the outstretched arms of Durso. So a base hit for Christy Colangelo, and the Dolphins now at runners at first and second with one out.
And Colangelo held hitless in game number 2. In game number 1, I should say. In game number 2, she's 2 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt.
Yeah, so the Dolphins now will send up Jamie Holmes, who has been at the plate with damage to be done. She's had 2 harmless pop-outs in the infield, so she's looking for a much better at-bat here this time around. Takes the first strike. Runners at first and second. There's the rip, and once again hit as a pop-up to the infield. Infield fly rule in effect, and Babula makes the play. So 3 at-bats for Holmes, all 3 harmless pop-outs into the infield, and it'll once again be up to Ashley Notaro. Notaro with 2 groundouts in this one. She's 0 for 2 after a 3 for 3 performance in the opener. And Dolphins getting into that territory, Mike, where they're starting to leave a lot of runners on base here. Notaro in a big spot. And that one is in there for a strike as Donahue able to change that one up.
Yeah, Dolphins looking to extend their 2-0 lead. Notaro also 0 for 2 this afternoon. Both Holmes and Notaro have come up with a lot of base runners on here in game number 2. Neither one able to get the big hit so far.
And that one is swung on and hit towards the left side. Durso scoops the throw to first in time, and another good clean play in the field. Hunter has really cleaned things up defensively, and another potential jam averted. 2 runners on with 1 out. Hunter gets out of the inning, so we go to the final 2. CSI holds fast to a 2-0 lead. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Women's Softball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Welcome back here to the CSI Softball Complex. We get set for the top of the 6th inning. Hunter down to their final 6 outs. Mike, they've been able to get a couple of leadoff hits against Nicolette Trapani, but really haven't been able to move runners around.
Yeah, you know, the Dolphins have done a nice job, as has Nicolette Trapani, after allowing those leadoff base hits. You know, a big play on a bunt against Samantha Malloy in the 4th inning, and you know, a nice play by Jacqueline Cortella getting the force out in the 5th. And it seems like the Dolphins make a good defensive play, Dave, almost every half inning.
Absolutely, as that'll bring up Bibula, who's 0 for 2. She grounded out back to the pitcher and flied out to left field. Lefty bat in the lineup. She's 0 for 4 total on the afternoon. And that one is in there for a call strike, so she sees her first strike here of the at-bat, 1-1.
Trapani developing much better command of both of her pitches here.
Yeah, that one's on the outside for a ball 2. Dolphins working on their 5th consecutive shutout. They've got 4 in a row. Previous to that, they gave up a run against Purchase, but had 4 straight shutouts before that. And that one hit off the fingertips of Bibula, so she's on. And once again, 3rd straight inning, Hunter has their leadoff hitter on base. And Taylor Crofts now up to bat.
And, you know, every time, Dave, that they've put the leadoff runner on, they brought the tying run to the plate. So, you know, this has been a pressure game for the Dolphins, their pitching and their defense, and so far they've done well. But another leadoff base runner for the Hawks here in the 6th.
You'd expect a bunt here from Cross. You get it. The throw to first is in time, but Crofts does her job. The sacrifice applied beautifully. And so now the tying run is at second base, just 1 hit away from perhaps being plated, and it'll be Samantha Malloy. Malloy came in batting .448 for Hunter, but she was 0 for 2 in the opener, and she's 0 for 2 here in the second game, 0 for 4 total. And that one is taken for a strike. Malloy with a pop out to second, and then she tried to bunt, sacrifice that was robbed by Joya via the pop. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit sharply towards second base. Catella, the throw to first in time, and there's 2 out. Runner does advance.
Yeah, so now it's going to bring her way to third with 2 out, and Victoria Slavic will be the batter. Slavic was 2 for 2 in game number 1, 0 for 2 here in game number 2.
Yeah, she popped up to short her first time up and then grounded into a fielder's choice, third base. Joya pointing out some directional instructions from Malek over in left field. And now here we go, ready for action. Another lefty at bat here. Ball 1 to Slavic here, who will see her second pitch of the at bat. And there's a cut on and a miss. Haven't had too many of those. Nicolette with just 2 strikeouts here, her 34th and 35th of the season. It'll be a 1-1 pitch upcoming. It's Bibula at third. Here's the pitch. And that one is in there for a call strike. Dolphins lead 2-0, both of their runs in the first inning. Since then, a lot of zeros up on the scoreboard. Both pitchers been doing really well, especially with runners on the bases. And Trapani wastes one up high, looking for Slavic to chase. She does not offer, 2-2.
Yeah, the first base runner in scoring position all afternoon is Bibula with 2 outs here in the 6th.
Here's the pitch, swung on and routine grounded a second. Catella fires over to first in time. Nice job by Catella to stay with the play. And once again, the Dolphins get out of an inning after yielding a leadoff base runner. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Dolphins hold fast to a 2-0 lead. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Women's Softball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Welcome back here to the CSI Softball Complex. The CSI Dolphins are up 2-0 here on the scoreboard. They've left a lot of runners on base, Mike. It's been 8 total so far through the first 6 innings, as we are going to have a new hitter coming into the game, Mike, as we have a pinch hit situation as Christina Servizio will come in. She'll replace Nicole Malek. Malek, who had 2 harmless pop-ups to lead off innings, now will be yielded in favor of Severizzo. Her first action here of the afternoon. She will face Donahue, who's settled down nicely after that rough first inning, where she gave up 4 hits. The Dolphins have scattered 4 since. Severizio takes first pitch strike. Severizio batting .250 this season. She's 5 of 20. And that one is swung on and missed. That was way out of the strike zone. Severizio wasn't close. Severizio's only struck out twice, 20 at-bats. That one is hit off the plate, so that'll be a foul ball. 0-2 will be the count upcoming.
So Severizio started game number 2 yesterday against Western Connecticut State, and Malak came in to pinch hit for her, and they turned it around here the next day.
And that one is roped, and that will get through the left side of the infield for a base hit. So the Dolphins, for the second inning in a row, also get their leadoff runner on base. That's a base hit in the left side, and Juliana Cretella will be the batter. Cretella is 0 for 2. She she grounded to second her first time up, and then she lined out to first her last time up. Chokes up on the bat a bit. You'd expect bunt. You will get it. Pop, but lands right in front. The throw to first in time. As able to make the play was a bolt. The throw to Bibula. But sacrifice applied. And the Dolphins will have a runner now at second base with Jackie Cretella, the batter, back to the top of the order.
Yeah, and the Dolphins just leading by a score of 2-0, looking to add a big insurance run down at third base as Juliana Cretella picks up her 3rd sacrifice of the year, and the Dolphins have 2 opportunities to bring that 3rd run home.
Cretella is officially 1 for 2 as she fouls the first pitch off the left side. Cretella 1 for 2 officially, a single. She's been on base twice, though. She was walked her last time up. First walk of the afternoon for either team. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit sharply into left center. That will hit green and will end up all the way to the outfield wall. Scoring easily is Severizio, and a stand-up RBI double for Jackie Cretella gets the Dolphins a 3-0 lead.
And Donahue has been doing a great job, Dave, pitching herself in and out of trouble, but that time a leadoff single by Severizio and a big double by Jackie Cretella gives the Dolphins their 3rd run of the afternoon, and that's a big run here, Dave, in the 6th inning.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with Hunter. Should they get up, obviously, and keep the Dolphins at bay, they will be their last licks coming up in the 7th inning. And if you're Hunter, job 1 is just to keep the Dolphins at bay. They've already given up 1 insurance run, and the Dolphins are just a swing of the bat away from getting another one in, as we know the kind of speed that Cretella possesses at second. And Antoinette Galbo, who's played well all day, 2 hits in the first game. She had a sac bunt. She flew out sharply to right field, and she grounded out her last time up. So no official hits in this second game, but been swinging a very hot bat as of late. Once again, Cretella at second. There's 1 out, and Galbo lays down a bunt. Third base side, fielded cleanly by Donnie. That's going to be a base hit for Antoinette Galbo. No chance to get her at first. So legs out, a bunt hit. Puts runners at first and second.
And, you know,
first and third. Sorry, Mike.
Just like you said, Dave, as soon as Galbo put that ball down and you saw where it went, there was absolutely no chance anybody was going to throw her out on the play. So she gets her first hit of the afternoon, and the Dolphins now already a run home, still have runners at first and third with 1 out, and the Patricia Riches at bat, who's 6 for 6.
Throw to catch Galbo, obviously picked off before she gets to the bag. So Galbo gets an easy stolen base. Cretella did not offer to come home.
That's Galbo's 2nd stolen base of the year for the Dolphins.
Low and inside for ball number 1. Now with first base open, if you're Hunter College, you have something to seriously think about here, as Riches is 6 for 6 on the afternoon. Couple of triples too, and that one skips in the dirt. Veza does well to keep it in front of her, but the count will go to 2-1.
Riches coming into the game batting .550, raising her average 41 points so far, Dave, this afternoon.
Yeah, once again, if you're Hunter, you can't think about coming anywhere into the strike zone, as that one is flubbed at shortstop off of Durso's glove. 2 runs will come home. That's going to be labeled an error. It has to be, Mike. I know we're giving them a long look, but That was a chopper right up the middle, a tough play, but at the very least, Durso has to stop that ball and keep one run at least from coming home. Instead, it will be labeled as an error.
But I do believe she gets the
An
RBI, Dave.
She does get at least one RBI.
Right.
Cortella comes home, as does Galbo. Riches will be at first with Vanessa Joya looking to add to the lead. It's 5-0 Dolphins.
5 RBIs on the afternoon for Riches as well. She now has 26.
And that one is a high strike for strike one, 1-1. So the Dolphins now 5 runs on 11 hits. Hunter, no runs on 3 hits, 1 error. And that one is swung on and hit sharply towards first base. And look at that. Abolt's kind of a flub at first, lands right into the glove of Bibula. She throws it back to Abolt. So good job by Hunter to stay with the play. Joy is out 3-4-3. And advancing over to second is Riches.
Yeah, interesting play, Dave. I don't remember ever seeing that one before. And a 3-4-3 put out and a good defensive play like you mentioned to get the second out. And now it'll take a 2-out hit by Christine Colangelo for the Dolphins to extend their lead.
Colangelo has 2 hits here in this second game. The last one was a rocket right up the middle of the field. Another one of those should probably score Riches from second. It'll be an 0-1 pitch up coming to Colangelo. Swung on and hit deep into left, but tracing back and making the catch will be Malloy. So Hunter is out of the inning, but not before the Dolphins do some considerable damage. They put up 3 runs on 3 hits in the inning, aided along by a Hunter error. We go into the top of the 7th inning. The Dolphins looking to close this one out. They're up 5-0 on the Hawks. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Softball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Welcome back here to the CSI Softball Complex. The Dolphins will have some defensive changes. We'll get those for you. But it is Trapani still going strong here. She's coming out for her 7th inning. Severizzo is going to go into right field, Mike. Playing left. Actually, that is, I can't see. No, that's it. Severizzo will just be playing left field. Fratello still in right. So that's the only defensive change. And the first delivery is high now to Annalise McLennan. McLennan is 0 for 2. She lined out to short, struck out. The second of Trapani's 2 strikeouts on the day, and that one is line shot, foul, first base side. CSI Sportsnet will be back on Tuesday night, 6:45 p.m. The CSI Dolphins will take on the Drew University Rangers in the annual Grace Hillary Breast Cancer Awareness Night. That one is chopped right back to the pitcher. Trapani makes the throw over to Holmes in time, and there's one away.
Yeah, so a good start here as Trapani gets the leadoff batter for the first time since the 3rd inning. 1 up, 1 down for the Hawks. Last chance for them in the 7th.
And Abolt is looking to stay hot. She's 2 for 2. Has had 2 line drives, 1 to left, 1 to center. 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Here's the pitch. Inside corner for strike 1. Dolphins looking for their 5th straight shutout. They have not allowed an earned run since Florida. Down low, ball 1.
Yeah, they're 2 outs away, Dave, from making it 14 games since a streak of no earned runs.
Wow, that's an amazing streak. Might be the longest in the nation. Of course, we'll have to check on that. That one is down low for a ball, so Trapani missing twice. Downstairs, so it's 2-1 the count upcoming to Abolt. Abolt does have some power too. She's been able to hit them a long way, and that one is roped into right center field. Having to get on her horse is Cretella. She's able to throw it into the cutoff Cortella, but Hunter has a double here, their first extra base hit of the game. And they have a runner in scoring position here with Veza up at bat.
Yeah, and Hunter's really used their experienced players to get all of their hits here this afternoon. And Bolt now has 3 of the 4 hits in game number 2. Taylor Crofts has the other one. In game 1, it was Victoria Slavic with the only 2 hits for the Hawks.
Just to put things in perspective, that base runner at second really does mean very little. The Dolphins with a 5-run lead here in the top of the 7th, so Trapani should feel compelled to continue to attack hitters. Veza's 0 for 2. She grounded back to Trapani and flew out to right field. And there's a dead red strike, 1-1. After, of course, the Easter holiday tomorrow, the Dolphins are back on the road. They play Farmingdale on Monday. That one is swung on and hit deep into center field. Looking up and watching it get to the wall is Colangelo. They will hold Veza at second, but Hunter College is on the scoreboard. They register here and cut the CSI lead to 5-1.
Yeah, you know, Dave, that was a nice bit of hitting that time by Veza. She hit the ball as hard as you can into the left center field gap, and Colangelo went back on it but had no chance on the ball. So back-to-back doubles break that unearned run streak, Dave, that we were just talking about. And the Hawks have now closed to within 5-1. And really, Dave, Hunter just a couple of batters away from getting the tying run up to the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. They have now a runner at second base once again. And now the number 8 hitter, Alicia Dovisak, will be scheduled to come up. She's got a bat in her hand, and it looks like we might have a... Nope, Dovisak will indeed get into the batter's box. As I saw Ralph Maroney give a signal to grab a bat to someone in his dugout, but I guess that'll be for the next at-bat. So Dovisak comes up. She's 0 for 2. She struck out, grounded into a fielder's choice at short. Hunter with a base runner at second. It's Veza. Already 1 run in. They're down to their final 2 outs, down by 4. Here's the pitch, upstairs for a ball.
And how big do those 3 runs look now,
Absolutely.
Dave, in the bottom half of the 6th?
That was going to be my next point, was CSI got themselves some big insurance runs in the bottom of the 3rd, helped along by Hunter's only error of the game after 3 errors in game 1. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled straight back. Dovisak did not play in the first game. Like we mentioned, 0 for 2. She comes in batting just .214 on the season, so looking to break out. Dovisak is listed as a junior. 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch, in there. No, that will be a ball, as that's on the inside corner, and that was a dead red strike to me, Mike. We have a pretty good look at it.
Yeah, pretty good pitch that time. Take it for a ball, and now Trapani down in the count, 2-1.
So here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and fisted into the outfield. That'll drop in front of Severizio, and that'll be a base hit. So runners are now on the corners, and it brings up the number 9 hitter, Jamie Durso, who will probably be pinch hit for here. And indeed, that'll be the case. It'll be number 8, Heather Ostrowski, the sophomore. And we're going to have a pinch runner come into the game at first base. It'll be number 3, Brianna Monaco.
And Ostrowski coming into the game in limited appearances, Dave, batting .417. She's 5 of 13 with 6 RBIs on the year. So she's been a very effective hitter for Hunter College. And, you know, Dave, Hunter College now 1 base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, so through the first 6 innings, Trapani had only allowed 3 base hits the entire way, and now Hunter with back-to-back-to-back hits, a couple of doubles and a single. They have runners at the corners, 1 run already in, and Ostrowski is our batter. See if Hunter decides to put a runner in motion at first base. Here's the pitch, Down low, runners stay home, 1-0. Dolphins looking to close this one down. 5-0 lead heading into this inning. They've yielded one. Here's the pitch, fouled off first base side.
Yeah, so that time Trapani able to get inside. Ostrowski does a nice job fouling it off over the Hawk dugout. 1-1 the count.
So once again, Trapani looks in. There's a swing and a miss, strike two. As Mike mentioned, Ostrowski very limited at bats, just 5 of 12, but 6 RBIs. So she's come on in big spots and has delivered. She's never struck out either. That one is fouled straight back.
First time Dolphins facing a little bit of adversity here this afternoon, a little bit of pressure on Trapani as they hold a 5-1 lead. Hawks trying to fight their way back.
Trapani looks in once again. That one off the glove of Joya. There will be no play at home. Hawks score another run. I think that'll be listed as a wild pitch, even though it went off the glove of Joya. That was well high. Going into second base will be Dvorak. And Hunter now 3 runs away.
Yeah, so it's a 5-2 game, and of course, Dave, this fact still remains that runner on second base really doesn't mean anything. And with the count 2-2, Trapani's only thought should be to retire Ostrowski at the plate.
Absolutely correct. It's going to be a 2-2 pitch upcoming. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Big strikeout for Nicolette Trapani, who stays with it. Picks up her 3rd strikeout of the game, and now we'll have the top of the order up. Caroline Bibula. Runner at second is Dvorak. Here comes the pitch. Outside for ball 1. Dolphins 1 out away from their 15th straight win. One of the longest streaks in the NCAA. That one way outside and high for ball 2.
Trapani overthrowing both those first 2 pitches, Dave, trying to get a little bit too much on it. Just got to stick with the stuff that's been so effective here this afternoon.
So here comes a 2-0 pitch to Bibula, who was hit by a pitch her last time up. Now it'll be 3-0 as that one fell outside, but Bibula otherwise 0 for 2. She grounded out back to Trapani in the first and flied out to left back in the third. 3-0 pitch, first base open, swung on and missed, strike 1.
Interesting, the freshman getting the green light to swing on that 3-0 pitch. Swings through it, count now 3-1.
Taylor Crofts is on deck. 3-1 pitch upcoming by Trapani. Swung on and fisted into left field. Hitting the cutoff, well, getting it home was Severizzo, taking second on the play will be Bibula. So another base hit yielded by the Dolphins turns into runners now at at second and third now. And Hunter with the tying run at second base.
And that was a terrible play that time in left field, Dave, by Severizzo to throw the ball into home plate, where what she really needed to do was just throw it into the shortstop or run it into the infield, and there'd still be runners at first and third. Instead, Hunter College now has the tying run, I should say, at the plate, but 2 runners in second and third with with 2 out.
So go-ahead runner at the plate, Mike, as it's 5-3 now. I'm sorry, Mike, it's 5-2.
Did you give Joy an error on that? No? Okay, sounds about right.
Sorry, Mike, got a little crossed up as our scoreboard had 5-3. Thought perhaps another run had come in. It is just 5-2. 1-0 is our count. And that one is swung on and fouled off. Crofts obviously a switch hitter, as we've seen her bat from the left side when she was putting down a sac bunt her last time up. 0 for 2 officially. 1 for 2 officially. Runners are at second and third. Swung on and missed, strike 2. So Crofts chasing a very high pitch, Mike.
Yeah, so Trapani now 1 strike away, but a nice job by the Hawks to get 4 of their 7 hits here in the 7th inning and bring the tying run to the plate, and that's all you could ask for when you're trailing by 5 runs.
She represents the tying run. That one up high. That time Crofts does not offer at it. Hunter with a rally here. They were no runs on 3 hits coming into this inning. They've gotten 2 runs on 4 in this inning. Looking to stay alive. There's the swing and fouled straight back into the stands. And we'll have to do it again.
Great job by Hunter College here in game number 2, Dave, especially bouncing back here in the 7th after allowing 3 runs in the 6th and really putting the pressure on the Dolphins.
2-2 pitch, swung on and hit sharply, left side. Galbo knocks it down the throw in time. A beautiful defensive play by Antoinette Galbo, and that ends the threat. Hunter does damage. They break up the shutout. They break up the scoreless streak that CSI was working on. But end of the day, Mike, mission accomplished for the Dolphins. They take 2 off of Hunter. They are now firmly ahead in first place in the CUNY Athletic Conference. 10-0 and 5-2 victories.
Yeah, and a big diving stop by Galbo, who gets off and gets the speedy cross for the final out of the game. And, you know, Dave, it comes down to what we say all the time, pitching and defense, pitching and defense. Hunter fought their way back, but a great defensive play by Antoinette Galbo at third base, and she's been great defensively all season long. Makes the difference, snuffs out the Hunter College rally, and allows the Dolphins to continue their winning streak, go to 8-0 in the CUNYAC Conference, and open up really what is essentially a 2.5-game lead on Hunter College, with Baruch, the only other team within striking distance, coming up this Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, and the Dolphins essentially control their own destiny, Mike. If they beat Baruch on Tuesday, they have essentially clinched the championship, the regular season championship. And so the Dolphins took just a tremendous leap forward here in conference play. Still plenty of softball to be played this season, but they can, pretty much feel comfortable that if they can take care of business the rest of the way, they'll be on their home field as the #1 seed after the CUNY regular season. We found out a lot about what the Dolphins are made of today against probably the second-best team in the CUNY thus far. And Mike, at the end of the day, the Dolphins are now 19-3 overall. They've won a bunch of games in a row, now 15 in a row. They have a couple of tough tests next week for sure. But the Dolphins now, you can start to hear the whispers coming about. This is a team that's looking for a regional ranking, maybe a national ranking with the NFCA. They're certainly making a case.
Yeah, they certainly are, Dave. But you know something? If you're Hunter College, you go out of here with a little bit of confidence, Dave. You got 4 hits against Trapani in the last inning. You scored a couple of runs. You played a much better game in the second game than you did in the first game. And you know what? First or second place in the conference, you know what? When it comes to the conference tournament, it really doesn't mean all that much. And, again, if you're Hunter College, you forget about the first 11 innings you played. You say, look what we did in the 7th inning. We can hit this team. We can play against this team. So although the Dolphins come away with the sweep, Hunter still gets to leave with a little bit of momentum heading out of CSI here this afternoon.
Yeah, especially after that first game, Mike. But again, the Dolphins came in looking to take 2 off Hunter. That's exactly what they did. 2 really nice victories for them. As Mike and I mentioned, CSI softball will be back in action against Farmingdale State on Monday afternoon on the road against Farmingdale. We will be back in action. Mike will be alongside Mike Cohen for CSI baseball when they take on Drew University in the annual Grace Hillary Breast Cancer Awareness Night at the CSI ballpark. 6:45 on the air, 7 o'clock first pitch there. So for Mishak Alexander, for Mike Babuski, I'm David Pizzuto, wishing you a very happy holiday, a great rest of the weekend, and we look forward to welcoming you back here on CSI Sportsnet on Tuesday night. Good day, everybody, and have a great weekend.